All right. What's up, everyone? Let me see, make sure the mic is working, sound is working. Always got to check all this stuff every time. Yo, it's a new day here, I guess in the game, because I'm on the Asia server for Zenless Zone Zero. Okay, glad you guys can hear me. And today, looks like the style of my little chat window changed. Not sure what happened there, but the HTML is not, or the CSS or whatever is not applying to it, but okay. Anyway, yeah, today we're gonna have Kana as well as I Am Rivenous join us to make an updated version 1.3 tier list. Now, unfortunately, Guoba just let us know a few minutes ago that he's not feeling so well right now, so let's hope that Guoba will feel a little bit better soon. So, unfortunately, he may not join us, probably won't, but we'll have to see, you know, whether or not, you know, he can feel better in time to join us or not. So, it's likely just going to be I Am Rivenous as well as Kana today for the tier list. And let me hop on over to Discord and probably give them a call real soon, where we're going to put some characters in places they may or may not belong. I guess we'll just have to see what you guys end up thinking. So, here we go. Okay. All right. Let me just grab him, hop on a call. So start voice call. There we go. Yo, what's up, guys?
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello. Okay.
Oh, you can hear me. Hello.
All right. I'm going to stream to you guys as well. So that way you guys can see what I'm doing more easily.
Sounds good.
Yep. Okay. So we got a couple tier lists here. Oh, Gib? Who's Gib? Sorry, I'm Rivenous. I don't know who Gib is.
It's another content creator.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, hey, if you think he's cool, why don't you, yeah, you can invite him to the call.
Or Gib, I sent you a friend request. You have to accept it so I can add you to the DM.
Oh, is he watching right now?
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
I hope so. Goddamn, I hope so.
Otherwise, you're just talking to someone, but...
Are you gonna... Hello.
Yeah. Welcome. So we got Gib here too. Let me, Discord Fusion Tech's not working, unfortunately.
Can you share your screen?
Yeah. Can you guys see it? Can you guys see my screen?
Well, yes.
Yeah, I see the
it.
two screens.
Wait.
Or
Yes,
like the two
perfect.
halves. Sorry, the like two tabs.
Oh, two tier lists, right?
Yeah. The two tier lists.
Okay, great. We're good. Right, that's all you guys need to see. Although, what is this? What is this tier list? Wait, did they just... Huh.
I think that's supposed to be Caesar.
I don't recognize
Yeah, some of
these-
these characters.
So we take Elysia and put her in S tier.
All right, I don't even know who that is. Which one is that?
I mean, it's not really Elysia, but second last row, third from the right.
This one? All right.
Yeah, she looks a lot like Elysia from Honkai Impact Third.
I see. Well, there she is. She's tier 0, whoever she is.
There we go.
Okay. So here's my thoughts on this. We're gonna make two quick tier lists. We're gonna make our tier list where, you know, we talk about it and then we place these characters. We'll try our best to agree, but if we don't, well, it is what it is. And the second tier list we can make is I'm just gonna poll every character in the YouTube community poll. So they will just vote on what tier they think a character is, and we can compare and contrast our final tier list with the viewer tier list that they end up making. If you guys are cool with that.
That sounds like a really fun idea, actually.
All right.
Before we get into it,
Yes.
I want to lose. I know you were struggling with the Fugi. Replace what you have in your Fugi with this, and it should work.
Oh, okay.
Like the browser source? Yeah.
All right, give me 1 minute. So style, color, we'll make this one green or yellow.
Oh, yeah, this one's actually working.
Community tier list. Okay. All right. There we go. So we got the community tier list right here. And let me try updating the Fujitech thing real quick as well. Not filters. The properties. Yeah, there it is. Oh, yeah, there you guys
Working
are.
now? Yep, there you go. Yeah, we're in a line. If you want the individual ones, I should have here, I'll just
It's all good, man. This is fine with me.
yeah.
Although I like
Okay.
how Kana, your icon, takes like twice as much horizontal width as the others.
Sorry. sorry.
To be fair, we can also only have Kana on there just because that pick is just awesome.
It's epic, yes.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah, it's all good. Okay, so here we go. All right. I think the first thing that we want to establish are the tiers themselves.
Mhm.
Are you guys
True.
fine
Agreed.
with this setup? 0, 0.5, 1, 2, and 3?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, sure, why not? I mean,
Yeah.
in the end, we probably add like 10 other tiers anyway, so.
Well,
Mhm.
that's a premonition there that not sure I like the sounds of, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, so do you guys want to introduce yourselves, give yourselves a plug or something?
I'm Gib.
Let's start with Gib.
I play like all the Hoyo games and Wuwa.
If you say anything, we
know.
cannot hear you, Gib.
Wait,
Or at least I
You
can't.
can't hear me?
Oh.
I can hear him. I can hear him.
Oh, I could
Oh.
hear him.
Oh,
I don't
I
think
can.
you can hear him.
Why
Yeah.
the fuck was the value at 0? Never mind that.
Okay.
You good?
I'm Gib.
muting.
All right. Yeah, I'm Gib. Play all the Hoyoverse games. I think some people know me from Jinyan main and Genshin, even though I don't play Genshin as much, but like still play it like up to date. Zenless, I like Soldier 11, big Soldier 11 chill. And in HSR, I guess Fei Zhao and Acheron.
All right, so we got a Soldier 11 main here, as well as Acheron, my queen. Good
Really?
The
taste.
only one.
Good taste.
The only Soldier 11 main in the world.
There's only 11 of us. Guys, stick together.
Nice. All right, who's up next? Kana, I guess?
Hello. I'm Kana. I do primarily ZZZ content. I do stream it a little bit. I primarily focus on making guides, do a little bit of theory, feels crafting, everything in between. I do a lot more recently. I know I haven't. It's been a long time since we've done one of this, but I've done like a ridiculous amount of like account review stuff recently, and that's gonna be a lot of where my basis for the tier list is gonna come from. But I think the hot tier list is gonna look scalding.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I think it's gonna burn the house on fire a little bit. But I'm excited. This is a really cool format.
Yeah, agreed. I am Rivenous. I do some guide stuff for ZZZ over on YouTube and basically never stream on Twitch. But yeah, that's it.
That's it? You're
And
not-
then I suck at self-introductions or whatever, so
Okay, well,
let's skip that part.
I am Rivenous, is a big Burnice fan, from what I can tell.
Holy.
Don't forget
For
Lucy.
sure, man.
Sure, don't
Ah.
forget Lucy.
Bernice and Lucy,
Loves
yes.
Lucy.
Indeed.
Uh-huh.
Thoughts on Lucy looking like a Goomba from Super Mario?
Yeah.
No?
Mm.
She has a German Pickelhaube, that's all.
Ah, the hat. Yes, that's right. You know, you're the only person
Here.
I've heard that has expressed appreciation for her hat.
Wait. Let me. As a German, I do have to do that. Here, I sent you a Google Drive link,
Oh, okay.
so everybody
Hang on.
gets
That is
to
a
know
long
this
link.
super important stuff.
All right. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, it's kosher. There you go. That's just from
Okay.
this 1900.
Yeah, it's a pickle hobby hat. I'm sure I'm saying it correctly.
100%.
Great. But yes, where's Lucy? Where is she?
Good day.
Yeah, there we go. She does have that
I
hat.
see. That is definitely on the dot.
Wow, you learned something new. Well, actually, Rivenous already told me this, but I guess for the rest of you guys who don't know much about the pickle hobby hat, well, here it is. Yeah,
Yep. The more you know.
the more you know. All right. Okay, so let's see. Where are we? Here we are. Okay, so how do we want to kick this off? Hang on, let me, there's something I wanted to, oh yeah, hang on. I gotta pull up another window, make sure it's easy to make the polls, because we're gonna have the community vote on every character too. Oh man, we're gonna try to make this quick, because...
Every time we say quick, take a shot for every time we say quick and it becomes a 3-hour stream.
No!
Easy.
No! Oh man, I told my wife it'd only be like 2 hours, but I guess we'll see if I face her wrath later. But we'll see. Okay, we're gonna end this poll, and let's start off with we can start with Nicole. We'll just go in order of
One more important thing.
Yes.
For the A ranks, do we go by M6 or by M0?
I think we should do C6.
M6.
I think so as well, but
Okay. Yep.
just
M6
asking
Nicole
so we are all
placement.
on the same page.
For C6, tier 0 easily.
Okay.
Yeah, the only thing I'm a little concerned about, has every A rank had a rerun yet? Or sorry, like had a banner for themselves yet?
With
Yeah.
Lucy being on this banner, yes.
Okay.
Lucy
all right.
is the last one. The holdout.
Okay. All right. Because that was my only fear. Because originally when we had that, it was like some people like couldn't get Piper. You couldn't get Lucy to M6 without like some, kind of getting lucky somehow.
Or whaling.
Which is my
yeah.
main. Yeah. Or
Just sell your house,
forbidden
goddamn.
fruit. Forbidden fruit, of course.
It's all worth it for the waifus.
Yep. For sure.
Okay. So, I guess for me, I'll start off with my opinion. I think she should be. Personally, she feels like a tier 0.5 to me. But like, what do you guys think?
I think
This is our
she
hot
can
takes,
be
right?
played.
Yeah. It
Oh
can be
yeah.
hot take.
Okay.
I think she's tier 0 because she can also be in anomaly teams. Like before, we got like anomaly. She was just UUN, and we didn't know what the future would be. But you can also put her on anomaly teams and like rotate into her, get the defense shred, and then have whatever anomaly you're about to proc benefit from that defense shred, which goes pretty hard.
Yeah, the
And
defense
she's like
shred is
super low
universal,
investment
yeah.
to build as a character as well. Like you just really need her core. That's it. You don't need her skills or anything.
Yep, that's true. That's
So-
very true.
I think I would actually agree because I mean
Oh.
we compare her to other supports, right?
Mhm.
So I
Like which
personally
other
compare...
supports do we have? We have Lucy, we have Sukaku, we have Rina.
So here's my opinion, and this is a bit of a hot take, but we have Lucy, right? We have, oh man, this tier list is what a mess.
Filling up fast.
We have Rina, right? But I personally also include the stunners in this slot because you often have to choose between a stunner or a support character because you literally only have 3 characters on the team, right?
Mhm.
So
Well, I think you only choose depending on who your DPS is.
for sure, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It is based on the DPS that you use.
Because like Caesar's also technically in the support tab as well now.
She is, yeah. I put
Okay,
her there
what-
personally.
While we are at it, I'm gonna give my hot take, and I do not think that Rina is T0.
Rina. Wait, are we talking about Rina?
Yes.
Oh, hang on. No.
No, I think he was just putting it on screen.
Yeah,
I don't
that
think
he
he
was
was
just
actually.
moving
yeah,
it.
it's comparison's sake.
Yeah. I know that's a real hot take.
Yeah.
Holy God, tier 0.
I will actually give you my opinion for that. Because for me, there's always a difference between theoretical, like how much is the unit able to actually do, versus how much is the average player actually gonna use it. Like how much of the potential can they use? And I think most of the player base is not able to get the most out of Rina's potential.
Yeah, I think
At
Rina,
M0.
she just sees way more value when you have more vertical investment in her. Like later down the line, once there's more electro and shock stuff, she'll probably get better. But like right now,
Yeah, not only
not
that,
many
but
people that use her.
99% of all players will not swap her in every 5 seconds.
Yeah,
And if you don't do that, she loses a lot of her value because her only value is the pin ratio she provides. So if you don't do that and you have her at M0, which means you don't even have full uptime during the entire stun window, I personally do not think she is on the same level like Lucy, who basically has an infinite uptime.
So that is
Without
how I feel
Literally
about...
doing anything.
That is how I feel about Nicole too, right? She does have uptime issues, and her buffs, while good, they're not completely universal, right? The defense shred is, but the crit rate and ether damage absolutely aren't. So, you know, if you actually look at the amount of damage she amplifies a team in comparison to, let's say, Caesar, right? I know like Caesar stuns too, but just like Caesar as an example, Caesar will pretty much increase any team that she's on's damage by 40-ish%, whereas Nicole's defense shred on a team she's not really meant to will increase it by like what? 15 to 20% tops. And she has duration issues. So for me, that's why I think she's in tier 0.5 is because of those factors, right? Like when you compare it to similar tier 0 characters, so we know Caesar's going to be in tier 0, right? So I'm just taking Caesar as an example. The duration as well as the buff amount is just a lot lower for everything but ether teams, right?
I mean, yeah, but I mean, we are talking about M6, so I mean, your chat
M6
literally
too.
says it as well. She does give crit rate.
Do you add any value for the character being a 4-star, or do you still equal them as a 5-star?
An M6 4-star is equal to an M0 5-star, roughly. It's kind of like the way that we're assessing this.
I think it's like, I don't think it's been mentioned yet. I think it's incredible. Like, probably what takes for me a character like Nicole from 0.5 to 0 is also just how much easier the game gets when you play with her. Like that, like it's even the case, I think, to be like this, again, this might be like my mega hot take, but a character like Caesar, if she doesn't have her barrier and her anti-interrupt, I actually think she's maybe like she's definitely one of the better supports, if not the best support. I don't think she is like so much further apart from everyone else though, just because she has a 1000 attack increase. I mean, like, let's be clear, like feel of a character and how you actually use a character is very important to their placement too. And for like Nicole, for instance, right? You don't just take Nicole because you want the defense shred necessarily. You also use it because, well, every single Shiyu defense and most encounters have multi enemies and like it's annoying to group them together. And if you're worried about clear speed, or if you don't want to have to, you know, hassle yourself with, or you know, try to deal with all the different player, or you know, all the different factors moving around, you need someone to clump them together. In the same way that for Caesar, part of the reason why she's so strong is because you can't get interrupted. Like your Jane or whoever you're pairing with Caesar isn't getting, you know, interrupted when they go to swing 100 times, and that's, in my opinion, like absolutely fantastic value. Like she's really good, or I should say Nicole is really good, in my opinion, for the same reason why Caesar is really good. They have something that none of the other supports really do uniquely, which again is like, it's not saying much because we don't have that many defensive or supportive characters in the game. But like, compared to literally, I'll even give you the defense characters. Compare what Caesar's shield does to Seth. It's not even comparable. Have you like tried looking at Sokaku's grouping up together compared to Nicole's? It's really not comparable. Like the truth is that in terms of ease of play, like the supportive characters or the characters that belong at tier 0 are definitely separate from the characters in 0.5. And although I definitely had Nicole in actually her own tier, like I had Caesar at tier 0 just because of how insane the shield was, and Nicole is at 0.5. I actually ended up putting, like, I don't know if there would be like a more appropriate like 0.75 tier, but like that's where I put all the other supports actually beneath them.
I see. So after that, what do you suggest? Are you suggesting Nicole be in 0.5 or T0?
I think it's
acting for 0.
Yeah, I think it's fine to put her in 0. Like
wow.
I think, you know, I think it's okay for her to be in 0.
That's some
I do.
hot
It is the hot take. It is the hot take.
Look, okay, I gotta be honest. I disagree, but the three of you, well, you outnumber me, so we'll go with democracy.
For me,
well, I mean, 0.5 to 0 is not that hot. You know, it's not like
I think it's a big difference because, you know, like if you have Nicole, you're not gonna like clear a lot of additional content you couldn't have cleared. Well, you have Nicole anyway, right? But like, to me, she just doesn't feel like a character where I can now clear something I couldn't clear because of Nicole. I don't know, right? Whereas like if I get Caesar, oh yeah, I'm going to slap a whole bunch of stuff that I couldn't slap before, right? So
for that take, I think there's nothing in Zenless that is hard enough yet for that to even like any characters really. Like Caesar, obviously like a big difference, but like, I don't know. I feel like overall all Zenless content right now is like, they haven't reached that part of like, I don't know, like HSR when like Ron May came out. Like there was a big difference.
Yeah, HSR is a bit harder, yeah.
To be honest, I actually kind of disagree because I feel like they literally introduced on Caesar's banner Pulchra to specifically make you want to play Caesar. Like again, I know if you're at the end game of ZZZ, like you probably don't struggle or die to anything really. But Pulchra against my like level 60 Caesar with like fully maxed out disc drive, she was like 12 or 11 on everything that I needed her to be, like max core skill. She lost like 6,000 health from the well, it's technically like dodgeable, but you know, you have to time it. It's a laser focused beam of like Gatling gun, or like she shoots at you and it does like literally 40% of your health if you're not paying attention.
Awesome dodge of the
No, I know, but the thing is, it's not like a red indicator, but like you have to just know beforehand. It's not really, I don't know.
So in terms of like the difficulty, right? Like we're content creators, we play this game a lot, right? Like someone that doesn't play as much, their investment level is going to be way down here, right? Like way down here. So, you know, like you're going to see accounts with like level 50 main DPS, you know, level 30 Nicole supporting them. It's a bunch of hot stuff in the kitchen. So, you know, a character like Caesar in comparison, right? Like they'll be able to carry that account more than like a character like Nicole. But okay, you guys, 3 of you are saying T0.
So
I'm gonna defer to you guys. It's fine.
One more question, because if we actually compare her not only to the other supports but also to possibly the stunners or defense units, I would not put her T0. But
look, she takes up that slot, right? She takes up that slot on a lot of teams. So
I mean, I think it depends a lot. Like, in which team are you realistically playing Nicole currently? That's like a Zhuyan team.
Just Zhuyan, yeah. I mean, that's the only team. Oh, Billy too. Zhuyan and Billy.
I mean, fair enough. But in both teams, she is not actually taking the stunner slot.
Correct. Yes.
Have you guys tried Jane with Nicole?
I personally haven't, but
I have, but it feels a little extra for kind of.
Well, if your units are taken up and like you need a support, she does pretty solid in the slot right there. And you can also use the 3-star weapon that gives you extra, what is it? It gives you like extra anomaly and proficiency, which is pretty solid as well.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, we definitely
we're on one character, guys.
Yeah,
okay. All right.
My recording says 13 minutes, by the way.
That's okay. Yeah. We don't have that many characters yet.
Yeah. This is a note. Okay. This is a note to my editor. Editor, if you're listening, which you should be. Tier 0, I disagree with Nicole in Tier 0, but hey, we'll move on, all right? Okay, next character, Anby. We have Anby. So,
Anby.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, Qingyi exists now, but Anby still exists, so we gotta talk about her.
Anby's like Tier 2, just because he's a stunner, or she would go like Tier 3. I don't know, that's just me.
I think it's actually okay. I'm gonna do this like as quickly and as quickly and shortly as possible. You need several teams in Zenless Zone Zero. That's just provably like the way that the Shiyu has been now. Anby is a character that I think if you don't have another stunner, she is definitely serviceable, if not very good. I would actually argue that, especially if you're just looking for a versatile stunner in general, like Koleda honestly does not feel that much better than Anby, because you have a lot of like, you have parry issues where you're in the air. Like you can't actually, always pair a character like Lycaon with someone like Anby. And Anby does stun very quickly. And for me personally, I think that Anby, the very lowest for me, could go like Tier 2, but I think she actually fits in Tier 1 because, number one, like, again, she stuns very quickly. She's versatile. She doesn't really have any bad synergies. And the character that we put in Tier 0, right, Nicole, they activate each other. So, like, if you're going to play literally any kind of stun composition, I don't really see how Anby could be Tier 2 or Tier 3, especially when everyone reaches for Anby specifically. Like, I don't think she's tier like 0.5 or Tier 0, but I think like calling her tier 3, I think adds being a bit dishonest. Like Tier 3 is reserved for, like some really like horrendous looking character, like
I'm here for Koleda propaganda. So
yeah, I was gonna say
Anby goes
I disagree,
in Tier 2.
but I don't want to make the Anby section too long. But I think Koleda feels significantly better to play than Anby. Actually, I wouldn't say significantly, but okay, there's a thing with Anby. It's the same problem with Soldier's chain attack. All of Anby's attacks are vertical in a straight line. And like when you do a dodge counter, I don't know what it is. Anby's dodge counter just feels bad. I don't know what it is. like when you're fighting like Thanatos or something. I don't know. It just feels bad. That's like a specific encounter. But
are you only trying to do dodge counters with your stunners?
no,
Is that the
I'm
only
just
thing you
saying
look to do?
like when you do get canceled out of your thing and you need the dodge counter. Like specifically, I remember like during the robots, right? I needed to use Anby because like I had no electric stunner, right? And like I don't know. I just think she feels bad in that spot.
I don't know.
But,
I feel like Koleda. Sorry, I don't mean to. Just like on the Koleda thing, Koleda's basic attack combo, I think feels like maybe the worst in the entire game. Like I'm not joking.
rough.
You have to do the entire. You have to jump in the air and you can't land back on the ground to parry. And like again, this is assuming just for her basic attack combo. That for me is like terrible. That's like maybe one of the worst feeling like attack combos in the game. If you're only doing dodge counters, I understand it a little bit more. But I've personally never been a fan of having to like sit on a character and wait for something to do something to me.
So
That's like not. I'm not a fan of that.
from personal experience, I've played Koleda a lot on, well, CES for Burnice, but also afterwards, after I fortunately got her on, well, in between the Burnice pulls.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it
congrats,
feels
congrats.
fantastic. It was the only unit I was missing and I was about to cry. But before we talk about Koleda, my vote for Anby goes to tier 2.
Okay, tier 2. All right. So
I think she is a good option if you don't have another stunner, but if you have literally any other option, I would choose literally any other option over Anby.
that is Amby's problem, right? Is that if you have literally any other stunner, you would pick. And in fact, if you have a character that's not even a dedicated stunner like Caesar, you would pick her. It sounds like I just keep shilling for Caesar, but I mean that's the thing. Caesar.
No,
Caesar's the goat.
she's the goat. She's the
Caesar's
goat. Don't get it
100%
wrong.
the goat. That's valid.
She is the goat. Don't get it twisted.
Right, like every character, buffer, stunner, they have to be compared to Caesar, right? They live in the same game that they're in. So, yeah. For me, I'm fine with either tier 1 or tier 2. When it comes to, I definitely agree with Rivenus. Like, the Koleda, I feel like at M0, Koleda's like kind of doesn't feel much better than Anby, but the moment you get Koleda's M1, holy cow!
But
right?
this is M0. This is M0.
I
I
know.
think wait till we get to Rina. That's gonna we're gonna burn the house for real.
Yeah, fair enough. So okay, all right, I'm on the fence. What do you guys say? Tier 1, tier 2? I don't remember who said which one. So
I go tier 2.
I'm not opposed to
Me and
tier 2.
Tier 2.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Go ahead, Gibbs.
No, I was just saying me and Rivenus were tier 2.
I see. So since I don't feel too strongly, and Kana, you don't feel too strongly either, right?
Yeah. To be honest, I said like I think if I didn't say it, my apologies. Like one of the first things I wanted to say is that like tier 2, I can understand. Like I think Gibbs said initially you're like, oh, tier 3. Oh, I don't know about that one. I don't know if I'd put her at the bottom. Like
Yeah,
that's
tier 3 is
a
hard.
real
Tier
hot
3
take.
was just like a crazy one. It was like a crazy thrown out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Tier 2 is fine. Tier 2 is fine.
We're close to, our community. This is actually, pretty split. 48 tier 1, 42 tier 2. So, we're just a few percentage points off from them. Now, me personally, I tend to value the good in character, so I would have put her in tier 1, but tier 2 is fair too. So let's, I guess, next character. Now, this is my soapbox. Let me start the poll real quick for good old Billy Boy, M6 Billy, tier placement.
So I want to preface this that I will not give a vote on Billy because I have literally never played him outside of the tutorial.
Oh, I love Billy. Okay.
Oh, I got him
Because
too.
I have
Oh,
not
me
played
too.
him,
I
because I have not
Billy.
played him, I do not feel I am in a position
Okay.
where I can make an accurate judgment.
Okay, guys, this is why I'm a 90% Billy main. Because every day I log in, this is what I do.
Yep.
This is what I
The
do.
truth
Right
truth
here.
comes out.
I
Then,
use Billy
Yep.
more than any other character in this game, and you'll see why. He has saved me so much time. It is not even funny, right?
One stun, instantly kill.
Done.
I love this. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. You are so right.
I would do this
Done.
if Jane Doe did also do the same thing.
Look at that.
Jane doesn't. Jane doesn't. That's the thing.
No,
Because you have
she
to.
often whiff one on the side. Look, average
Yep.
clear time is like 11. This one was bad because I didn't kill the second wave. Average clear time is 11 seconds. Sometimes you get 10. Right?
Yeah, he's still the goat for this though. Yeah. He's
Okay,
Oh,
but
he's
Crit
a goat.
Burnice can do the
Billy.
same.
Burnice? No.
Yeah, sure.
No.
Yeah,
I don't
of
know
course.
about Burnice, sir. I don't think her AoE is big enough. For
No, Burnice definitely can't. You start with no energy.
I definitely can because I literally did that on stream. And no, well, actually, I
Okay,
did
fair
not.
enough. But
did
look,
not do
Billy
that on
is so
stream.
consistent, right?
But-
Because like Burnice,
okay.
you have to angle it, and then she does the thingy, and then finally you touch the guy on the side. Oh, my community's not on my side here. Tier 3 for Billy. No!
What?
How could you guys
they're
betray
uninformed
me?
though. They're literally uninformed.
You guys
I
are
feel like that-
betraying me.
I feel like most people are uninformed about Billy. He's got it. For me, Billy is like tier 1 or 2.
Okay. I blanked for a second. I thought tier 1 was the highest. I was like,
No.
No.
Oh god.
Even me as number 1 Billy simp won't put him in tier 0, okay?
Tier 0 is crazy. Oh my god.
Tier 0 would be insane. He's not that crazy. He's not that crazy.
It's not that crazy, yeah. All right.
Wait. So who wants to go first for Billy?
Okay, my opinion, tier 1, tier 2 at lowest. That's my opinion.
Yeah, that's me. That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm. I'm kind of the same. Okay, to be clear, I'm like I've fully maxed out my Billy. Like I'm like a 15 across the board, like F core skill Billy.
Wait,
like
15?
M6 Billy.
No way,
Yeah,
no way,
15
no
across
way.
the board.
Not even
Yeah,
my Billy's
that's
15.
Yeah, I'm serious. Wait, I can. I'll take a
When
screenshot.
you might be a fraud.
Yeah, I know. I've done. Billy.
No,
I'm so
16. Check this bad boy out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wait, you're 16.
Wait.
You're crazy.
Oh wait, I need to do his.
My soldier is all 16. Anyone have someone all 16?
I need to do this one. Wait, no.
Yeah, Lucy.
Change.
and Burnice.
yeah. You're not
This is
feeding
right.
the.
No, Burn is not.
Okay, but how are you the Billy shill and you don't have his F core?
Hang on, wait, I
True.
don't.
True.
Oh, geez, you're right. Oh no, I forgot. Oh, I've been caught.
Ooh,
Huge
caught. Heads up.
caught.
Caught.
My career's over.
I think putting him in tier 1, tier 2 is fair. I actually not like I know we agreed on like the tier 0 to like tier 2. I actually think that this is a little hard because Billy
Yeah, it depends if you're fighting.
Yeah, Billy is not only like I think he's really good now that we have a lot of other characters that complement. Like I honestly think that like a team with like Chingy and like Nicole pretty much suits him as ideally as possible. But like even with that aside, I think that there is a clear difference between, you know, the DPSs in the game, you know, of Billy and even characters like Nekomata and stuff and like the top end. But Billy is not at like the same level as Corin. And again, mega hot take, but I really don't put Billy and how easy and how like usable and just his performance in the same level as someone like, you know, Corin, Nekomata, maybe even an Anton. I'm not spreading hate to those characters or anything.
Before we get
but
to Nekomata, I feel like Billy is better than Nekomata, but we'll wait till we get there.
yeah, I like him in tier 1. The community tier list I think is a bit incriminating, but I also think that he's a character. He is a character that you kind of have to play to really understand like his strengths, but not everyone has the resources for that, which is like I can understand that, but he's very, very like easy, straightforward to play. Like honestly, he definitely plays like a more I don't know how to describe it. He plays pretty much exclusively off of his energy, and I know that doesn't sound like a mega hot take or anything. But he is so focused on using his energy and like only has very specific burst windows that like the second you're off of those windows, it's not even like Ellen, you know, having normal basic attacks and you can do a dash attack to try and, you know, gain back some damage. Billy falls off a cliff if he doesn't have energy, if he doesn't have his ultimate up, if he's not using a chain attack. And from my experience, like, to be clear as well, I've cleared every single Shiyu floor solo with Billy.
Like I've
done this.
Yeah, me, Billy boy.
Yeah, I've done it. Like on stream, I did it with Billy with the node that had Pulchra in it. By the way, just saying. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Well, he counters Pulchra.
Yeah, but I just mean like that difficulty of like the Shiyu. In any case, my point is that he can do it, and his performance and his speed of doing it is really fast, but you have to play him differently. Like you have to definitely work on him being a stunner, which again, I don't think he's tier 0 or anything like that, because he definitely fails and like falls if you don't have like the perfect team or if you don't invest in him. But I think he's pretty good. Like I think there's some value to this character. Like Obviously,
okay.
he's not the same, right? But
So here's another thing too, right? Like, I mean, Billy just clears any physical weak content perfectly fine, right? So I think he's, yeah. I mean, to me, tier 1, tier 2, we could keep talking about Billy all day. I don't mind doing that, but let's make a decision here, boys. So what do you guys think? Which tier?
Would be
1
fine
or
with
2?
having him in tier 1 now, but
Wow,
I'm also
okay.
fine with tier 2.
Okay. So Gibbs is fine with tier 1 or 2. Kana, what about you? 1 or 2?
okay, I said all that. It's for like the average person. Maybe I'm reeling back a little bit. Okay,
Average person is definitely tier 2.
Okay.
Average
yeah,
person
I could probably see like a tier 2.
I think
Okay.
it's a character you one trick 100%.
Yeah.
Rivenus, you have any opinion?
No.
He said
I
yes.
don't have any
yes,
opinion.
yeah.
No opinion on Billy. Okay. Oh man, I like Billy a lot. I'd put him in tier 1, but tier 2's fair. Tier 2's fair. Okay. So,
All right.
oh man, our tier list is already complete. We have not agreed a single time with our with the community here. Oh man, this is definitely a hot takes tier list.
Well, this is ours is supposed to be a little steamy, right?
Oh my goodness.
Ours is not supposed to be like
Bro, this is not steamy. This is an entire forest fire in Canada.
yeah,
Oh,
dude.
man.
Even right now, tier 2, tier 0 for the 3 free characters at the start of the game. That's crazy.
Jesus. Yeah.
Actually crazy.
Oh boy. Okay. Let's move on. We gotta get through these characters. Next character is Nekomata. M0 Nekomata. To replace me, you guys can start yapping while I populate this.
All right, who's got the most? I guess who's the biggest Nekomata connoisseur?
I think that's got to be Riv.
I mean, I have the most mindscapes, if that matters.
I'm M4 at Nekomata.
Okay, never
my
mind.
Nekomata is level 30
Never
though.
mind.
Like, let me be
Okay.
clear. Like,
Okay, you have the most. So I've played Nicomata a bit. My main problem with her is you really need her M1, and her M2
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
helps her a lot. Like, actually a lot. So the thing about Nico is that her dodge counter is actually pretty good, especially if you have trash mobs, because it groups them. And he also really likes her signature. So if we are talking about her having her signature but no M1, I would probably put her in tier 0 1.5, which we do not have.
Oh, okay.
I don't think she's worthy tier 1, but I also don't think she's worthy to... If we include her signature, if we include M1, I would put her probably in tier 1. But
we're
guess-
M0, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we didn't clarify what their wengens were. I mean, would it be like R5 for 4 stars and R1 for 5 stars, or?
yeah, let's just assume signatures, because basically everybody has one.
Okay, so R5 for 5 stars, or R1 for 5 stars and R5 for 4 stars. That's fine.
Yeah.
sure, yeah.
I
Yeah.
personally
Okay.
think Neko is fine. She has she has tons of grouping, but outside of that, her damage is a little bit lackluster in my opinion. So
I
can
also
we make
Oh, sorry.
a
Go
tier
ahead.
dot what? We should have a tier 1.5
Oh my
Nekomata,
gosh.
because she's the only one fitting in there.
That's
Okay,
pretty
well,
valid. That's pretty valid.
just for Neko, no, I'm vetoing that idea. no extra
okay,
tier.
then my vote goes more towards tier 2, unfortunately.
Tier 2, okay. Yeah. See, at M0 Neko versus M6 Billy, from what I've seen, I've only watched some clear times of each character accordingly. I don't really see Neko doing like a whole lot better than Billy, right? Like just purely from anecdotal observation. So I'm fine
Yeah.
with her here. Community also, hey, this might be the first time we agree with community.
Also, at the end of the day, Jane exists, so like she just
Jane,
blows
yes.
up all of
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
And for that
Yeah.
matter, Piper too. But I think recently the anomaly meta has been more favored.
Piper is actually like she's Walmart Jane, but she's not that bad if you don't have Jane. Like,
Bro,
she's still
Yeah.
definitely a
Walmart
good option.
Jane is like, trying to think of an appropriate analogy here, but I don't know. yeah, still good, right? Like still
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Walmart Jane is still probably in like 0.5 to be like okay, not Piper specifically, but you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
Jane is probably the best like anomaly character in the game. But we'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Whoa, fighting words. All right. I mean, can't say I disagree yet, but we'll see. Okay, so Neko, that's a quick one, guys. We're killing it.
All right.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Koleda.
Let's go.
Now I'm here for the Koleda
boy.
propaganda.
Yeah,
Koleda.
same.
Okay, so
Okay.
I would put her in tier 0.5 and every other stunner
wouldn't show her
outside
that
of
hard.
Chingy below. I think
I would not show
Koleda
that.
is much better than Lycaon. I think Koleda is much better than Anby. I think Koleda is much better than Seth. I think Koleda is much better than Ben, I guess. Who other stunners do we have
crazy.
outside
Okay,
Chingy,
well, like,
Caesar?
Better than
Zero.
Lycaon, like gameplay wise, or like just like team.
No,
like,
actually,
team options
just
wise?
better. So gameplay wise, Lycaon feels like shit to me. Like honestly, you can just shit in my face, and I probably would prefer that over playing Lycaon.
Jesus.
But
Sounds like you like furries, huh?
no, I don't. That's the thing.
Quite
But
the visceral
regardless,
reaction.
I really dislike Lycaon's gameplay. I feel like his charge attack style does not feel good. And I personally really like Koleda's style. However, what many people do not realize is Koleda dodge counter is pretty insane.
Yeah,
It is, yes.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, a lot of
And-
people definitely don't know about her dodge counter.
So
She's got the
the
best dodge counter,
point
right?
being,
From a stunning
Koleda
perspective.
has probably the fastest stun application in the game, especially if you utilize her dodge counters, and it also generates a fuck ton of energy. So it is really, really easy. And I agree that especially her basic 4 feels a little bit clunky, especially if many enemies move around. That is probably why I would not put her any higher, because enemies just really move outside of her basic 4. However, the animation is so fucking long, you actually can swap through your entire team while she does that animation
Yes,
without
that's
losing
true.
out on anything. And I think that is something which many people just don't really do, which, to be fair, is, I mean, you know, understandable. But the moment where her basic 4 starts, you literally can just swap to every other character, do your stuff, and then you come back to her afterwards, and you're good to go.
So
And she applies a fuck ton of, days, while also having the really big advantage that every single of her weapons is basically even. It doesn't matter what weapon you choose, there's like a 2% difference outside of Chingy's signature. So she's really easy to build.
So here's a point that I don't think we touched upon yet. The newer DPS characters, they all fall in this awkward range of needing, you know, either like signatures plus like a really meta support to single stun cycle a lot of enemies, or they just need 2 stun cycles, and it doesn't really matter how much damage is amplified from like the stun slot. And because of this, because most accounts are going to 2 cycle most of the bosses in the harder fights, Koleda is, well, you know, arguably the fastest stunner, and because you don't care as much about the damage amplification from Chingy because you're not going to be able to 1 cycle it anyway, then, you know, Koleda's there to give you the fast second stun and to kill the enemy, right? So I find that because damage thresholds are kind of the way they are, the fact that Koleda stuns extremely fast is helpful, because like the new characters like Jane, she typically 2 cycles, like, you know, the physical she used 7 bosses, right, for most accounts.
I think there's also a point to be made that, and that this is, to be fair, a pro and a con at the same time. So Koleda's additional ability is pretty fucking useless.
Yes.
Yeah, the
But that
chain
also
attacks,
means-
we don't have
For now.
any chain attack people.
For
Yeah,
now.
that doesn't matter right now. But
Yeah.
the great thing about that is also you can literally slot her into any team. It literally does not matter. She will do her job well in any single team.
True.
Which is, after going by all of this, there are better stunners out there because she provides 0 utility, and she can feel clunky at point, but her stun application is out of this world, which is why my vote goes to tier 0.5.
Oh,
Would you
River
still have her in 0.5 with lighter?
Oh no!
I
no,
have no
wait.
we
Hey,
no, no,
cannot
hey,
talk about
hey.
stuff.
All
we
right,
had the
all right.
live stream. We had the live stream. What are you talking about? What are we
Wait,
talking about?
I actually not sure how much detail they went into it, but
The
They
live
did
stream,
they did show his
they-
kit, but
yeah,
they
they
didn't
showed his
Okay.
kit.
show numbers. They
Yeah.
didn't show numbers.
yeah. So
We
we
don't,
can't.
we don't
like,
know how good lighter is.
You know, like Lighter could like
baseline-
stun 10% of Koleda. Who knows, right? So we can't.
Yeah,
or he
yeah,
could
yeah.
stun like 300%. Who knows?
Well,
You know?
I was
We
gonna
do-
say it's just because he does red shred. So like And he has the
Yeah.
same stun thing as Chingy, where like he sits into one attack string and stuns the person
Yeah.
doing that.
I see.
Yeah.
So like,
Okay.
I think that's going to drop Koleda. That's why I was going to put her in tier 1.
Yeah,
Okay.
but he is not out
yeah.
yet, and we literally do not know. So also we have to keep in mind we don't know what his weapon does. Maybe his weapon could also be pretty good for Koleda or something. So
All right.
I
Okay,
would not
so-
include any unreleased characters
No, we
yet, or
can't-
take that into
No,
account.
we can't talk about unreleased characters, unreleased stuff, right? Because
Yeah.
let's make the tier list now. So yeah, Koleda tier 1. I'm fine with. I personally think tier 1 is a fair placement for her, especially given the future, characters that we're gonna have to go through. So,
Yep.
Everyone okay with this?
I think that's
No.
pretty fair.
I'm here for the Koleda propaganda. I think she's vastly underrated.
I just want to like have a quick point. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like when you were talking about Koleda and how like if you're giving the same sort of like leniency towards, oh well, like Koleda's M4 or like her B4 like kind of sucks. I feel like that's if you're gonna like give a little bit of wiggle room to Koleda, I feel like you could also give the same wiggle room to Anby. But I mean,
Anby,
look,
yes.
I honestly kind of agree with like the community tier list a lot right now. Like I'm looking at that right now. I'm thinking in my head outside of Billy because I'm like a Billy lover. But I've also like I do think the community tier list like has some pretty similar. Like I think that makes sense. Koleda and Anby for the average player, I don't think is that drastically different.
I agree.
Just like my
I agree,
2
yeah.
cents about it.
I personally agree because the average player is not going to notice like 3-second faster stun that Koleda often provides, but it's okay. I'm fine with this. I'm with Kana too.
Okay,
I like
okay.
community list more.
Listen. I'm gonna gift you all a sub if you put her to 0.5.
Bro,
Okay.
you're bribing us now.
Wait a second. Okay, wait a second.
Hang on. It's worth it.
Oh,
Oh,
2
yeah.
subs already.
Orpa.
I see that.
Orpa.
All right. Okay. So, okay. I vote for tier 1. I think. Yeah. What do you guys vote? We'll just take this out with a
Tier
vote
1.
now.
I think tier 1's fair.
All right. I'm sorry, Rivenus.
Yeah, this is a bad tier list. I disagree.
Outvoted.
Downvote. Okay. All right. Next character who I gotta be honest. Sometimes I forget he exists.
Anton.
It's Anton.
Yeah,
It's
who
our boy
cares?
Anton.
Tier 2. Next.
Yeah, I think it just be tier 2.
All right. Let's let the community vote too. Okay.
Okay.
Anton.
I want to. Okay, so again, just as a reminder, most of my experience with these characters is because like someone will ask me to like help them with their account or like take a look at Shiyu, and I've experienced like playing Anton in okay, honestly, I need to touch some grass. That's like the chat said it, and it's true. Like I definitely play Zenless a little bit way too much. But I will make it clear, I don't play Zenless extremely well. Like I do clear a lot of the content, but I don't think I'm like way better than any like or even the average gamer. Like I think I'm quite bad. However, every time that I played Anton, like something that always comes up is like, dude, Anton, when you play him properly, or like I've seen this video of Anton one cycling, or like, he does like a, off the first ultimate, 20-second clear, 30-second clear with Anton M6. And I feel so conflicted putting him as
Those
low as
people
I
are spreading
normally.
misinformation.
Whoa.
Agreed. But like, if you get a 20 to 30-second clear on something, you may not be tier 0, but are you tier 3? Like, like it feels to me, it feels well.
Let's just put her tier 2.
Even tier
that
2,
way we don't
like
get cancelled.
Okay.
like
Also,
he does feel bad, right? Like,
Here's my
but if
opinion
he
on
can
Anton.
clear that fast.
Here's my
I
opinion
think
on
I
Anton.
think it's cool that he has the mechanics to keep up his uptime with the drill.
Yes, that is a fancy mechanic. So here's my opinion on Anton is if you really know what you're doing, you can absolutely make him slap some cheeks, right? But for most players, he just feels bad, right?
I agree.
Like you
Totally.
just run out of
Totally.
energy and then I don't even want to say it, but yeah. And then
he gets off. He leaves off stage. Like get off
he's
get
gone,
off my
right?
screen.
And most players, they just want to like drill, baby, drill, not have to worry about min-maxing all this stuff and whatever, right? So I think for the average player, tier 2, tier 3 is what I would put in. But you're right, Connor. There are people that will min-max his damage. They'll like figure out exactly what substats to do and clear in like 20, 30 seconds, maybe even faster. I don't know. I haven't seen any faster than that. But yeah, so tier 2, I guess, yeah, We're already done. We're already done with him, right?
Compensates for our Nicole and Koleda section.
So community thinks he's in tier 3, right? So I'm fine. Community is actually a bit closer on this one compared to most of the others. So some people think he's in tier 2. Some people think he's in tier 3. I feel a little bit more validated. Thank you everyone who voted. And tier 3 voters too. Your opinion is valid too. And actually here it is reflected. So let's see. We can end this poll. That was record speed, guys. Thank you.
The next one will be even faster. Goba isn't here, so we can just take Ben, put him in tier 3 and just skip it.
Propaganda.
I'll just skip it. Oh my goodness. Tier 0 to tier 2, and then tier 3, and then bear tier, right? Nah. We'll give him proper ratings.
Okay, I have to say, for Ben, I know that there are equally as many Anton videos as there are of like Ben, people one cycling. There are equally as many Ben videos of someone showing like them doing 1 point something million damage to Nineveh. And like what I Win to Lose said earlier, it's not that, you know, any character in this game is unplayable. Like truly, like a lot of characters, when you put enough time and effort into them, they may not feel great. But like if you want to take like a, you know, damage per screenshot kind of take on it, like yeah, Ben can do infinity damage, but I don't see most, if almost anyone, reach for Ben, just because you're already given so many free characters to begin with that the odds of you not having a support or a character that can take Ben's place, I feel like is so low. And yes, like he does give a little bit of stun, or like can sometimes take the role of a stunner. And yes, he also gives like a, you know, a bit of like a crit rate buff. But you know, how much value is that, especially when the characters that would be paired with the crit rate characters are like Chang'e, are gonna be Anby, are gonna be Lycaon, Sokaku, even Lucy. It just feels like Ben doesn't have someone that he ideally does that with. And before someone says Koleda and Ben together, because I know that's like something we were riding like at the very beginning of the game, that combo is not
the beta.
Yeah, that combo is so hard. is not actually valuable at all, because it buffs Koleda.
It looks cool.
Yeah, but you're
they
like,
did that with more characters. I wonder if they planned for more characters.
Oh, they have to be. They have to be. It's a shame the motorcycle girls don't do stuff like that.
True.
Yeah, it's such a shame too, because it's such a cool concept. Like they should add that to other characters. You know,
it's great.
I mean,
imagine
go
if
play
Piper,
Honkai Impact.
Imagine
Honkai
if Piper
Impact
and Burnice like just started applying anomaly together at the same time. That'd be like
that would be
so
like
crazy.
There's like a bike animation or something.
Yeah,
amazing!
So crazy, but it missed opportunity. Oh well. Okay, so Ben. Oh wait, I put him in tier 0 because we're talking about him.
Oh yeah, placement wise, I think he might actually be the first character we put in 3. I think he really is just like anyone that says they want to use Ben. I feel like is missing someone, and that's the only like if the only reason you want to use a character is because you have nothing else to reach for. You know, that's not like a good justification for a character being strong or anything. It's literally that, you know, it's the shiniest poop in the, you know what I mean, in the poop in the toilet. So I don't know. Yeah. It's okay. He also has like one of the rare cases of being a character that scales on defense. But although they've released subsequent defense units in like, you know, after him, they seem to still not care about defense or HP as a stat still. And so Ben is kind of like left holding the bag of, guys, defense is really good. Like, trust me, defense is so good. And then he's just not good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
he's just got like, you know, he's the only character that has to scale with defense. But like, why would you like ever do that?
I will say the clear times I've seen with Ben actually really surprised me. Right. Like for for those players out there that make Ben work, it's actually pretty crazy. And you guys should Google it or, you know, YouTube it because, oh man, I wish I knew the content creator's name off the top of my head, but he's doing like
no, I don't think I will do that. That doesn't fit my narrative.
Okay.
We can live in our bubble. But yeah, like based on what I've seen of him, he's similar to Anton, like Kana was saying, how you can make Ben do infinity million damage, right?
Okay, but in that case, we also have to move Anton down if he's similar to Anton.
Yeah, well, that is a problem, right? And actually, if you think about it, Ben provides more utility than Anton too, right? Anton can literally only do damage, and Ben can, well, do damage and support a little bit, right? So,
And 15% crit rate on a shield, which is literally gone the moment somebody looks at you.
yes, that's true. Yes, it's true. But Ben applies more days too, right, than Anton by a decent amount.
Yeah, then let's move Anton down by 1.
Oh,
if nobody
hey,
disagrees.
More Anton slander, I'm okay with it. Like honestly, I really, every time I played that character, it has taken me like 10 times longer to clear anything. I am so for putting him lower. I've just been like flamed to like Narnia and back when I say that Anton is bad, which is why I'm like, okay.
Are we fine with this, guys?
I'm fine with this.
All right.
Let's create a tier 4 just so we don't get canceled.
Okay, I don't know if I'd go that low for the character. Oh, dude, speaking of Bellabog, though, Grace?
Oh, yeah, Grace is up next. Okay.
Hell yeah, feet.
So,
dude, what do we do with Grace?
She's hard.
So I have the problem. I don't think she is necessarily bad, but I think she does not A, have a good team, and B, she feels so clunky to play.
She's very difficult to use.
I think the only thing saving her is because she's anomaly. That's like it. I feel like her kit is still like beta though. Like every anomaly character we have right now applies their anomaly with their basic attacks, but like Grace only does it with her skill.
She does on like her 3rd, right? Doesn't she?
Yeah.
Like her B3 or B4.
Yeah, but
she does it on one of them. It's very limited though. You are right compared to like the others.
I would put her tier 2 currently.
Tier 2.
I don't know about tier 2. I think still because she's still anomaly. She still has like disorder and everything.
The problem is, so my question is always, why would I play Grace if I instead can play literally any other anomaly character?
What if you don't?
Think
what anomaly characters would you? Yeah, but what about Piper, Grace and Piper?
Burnice, I would not play that.
Like, okay, but you know, like, okay, so how you're saying like, oh, all these other anomaly characters, the other anomaly characters that we have right now are all like limited banners.
Yeah, they're not shock anomaly either, to be fair too.
Yeah, like, so if there's electric, like, what are you gonna do?
So,
like, I feel like
Chingy, I don't know. Chingy, Anby.
What are we talking about?
Okay.
What are we talking?
So here, in terms of electric, there's actually a really interesting issue. We have not had a single true endgame content for electric yet. The only thing we've had are Shiyu 16 with an electric in like the first half, and that's it, which you can brute force 16 most of the time with an off element. Like, for example, a Julian team or an Ellen team, they can easily brute force floor 16, right? So that's actually the issue for, an electric character like Grace, is there just isn't the content for her, in my opinion, to really even have like a decent basis of comparison. But personally, when I use Grace, I also feel like she's really difficult to use, right? Like, the electric ticks just don't feel like that crazy, in my opinion, but
I think Grace has a very unique niche, but that requires her M1.
Another M1 needed.
Yeah, because
right?
her M1 gives energy to the team.
Well,
on every 4th basic.
The thing is, like, so when the game first came out, Grace was like the first character that I built for undisclosed reasons. Maybe not some, not some propaganda from the game. But
is it the armpits or the feet?
I'll leave that up to you to decide. Does that sound like a more fun game? Okay. But the thing is, like, the thing about Grace, and again, this is now speaking as someone that has played like the different variations of like Anomaly. Grace at the very beginning was only in that top like maybe 0.5 or maybe tier 1 slot originally because there simply were no other anomalies. Your anomaly choices were Piper or Grace, and that was like really it. And like if you wanted to do disorder, which I think a lot of people were stating to be very strong, you had to play some version of it. Now you could have used Grace with Anton, but as we all know, Anton is, well, tier 3, and he doesn't feel that good to play. And the thing is that like Grace, I think, struggles a lot, right? And I agree that she's definitely fallen off, but I feel like part of the reason why you may want to rate Grace so poorly isn't even necessarily that she does like things poorly, but you're directly comparing them to like Burnice, and Burnice applies anomaly the way that Grace wants to apply her anomaly. If all Grace had to do was throw a grenade, and then like every time an ally auto attacks off field, you like start zapping, that character's amazing. Like that honestly seems like how Grace should be like working right now. That's how her kit should work in theory compared to Burnice. But because they released Burnice, you're like, wow, Grace sucks. But I will say, because again, Grace isn't just a character that works with anomalies. She technically is in Anton's best team. I don't think she's, I don't know, definitely not tier 3. I wouldn't say necessarily tier 2 either. I think she like kind of has to be tier 1, because if you're someone that wants to play an anomaly and you want to play disorder and you don't have the new characters, you didn't pull for Burnice, you didn't pull for Jane, you have no options. That's like pretty much it. You have to take something with Jane, or you have to take something with Piper or something with Grace. And I think because of that, she has to be in tier 1. Like, I don't think you can go any lower
Fair
than
enough.
I think tier
I
1's
cannot
okay.
argue against that.
Yeah, because she works reasonably well at Burnice. You can get some pretty massive disorders. Even if it's a bit awkward at times, you can still do it. And, you know, we can guess where the other disorder characters are going. So, you know, I think it's reasonable to put her here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Koleda goes tier 0.5 now, right?
Tell you what, we can do this.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay.
1 sub earned.
Oh god.
Compromise.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, tier 1's fine, right? I think tier 1's fine. Okay. Next character is Rivenous' favorite. Rivenous' favorite. Why don't you kick this one off?
No, man. I will not say anything, because I can tell you that my YouTube channel will be deleted after this if I say anything. So,
I mean, the thing is, like, I thought it was kind of. Oh, sorry. Actually, like, not to keep coming back to Koleda, even though that's like the running thing now. But I feel like it's kind of weird to be okay with the way that Koleda plays, but not be okay with Lycaon plays, because they both, in my opinion, don't have very good. Like, they don't have like. I think the best, most ideal stun pattern would be, okay, you walk up, like you press E and you swap. Like, if you could do that as a stunner, that would be amazing. And for most cases with Lycaon and Koleda, if you're fighting like a small mob, they both do the exact same thing. You walk up, you use an EX special, and you instantly proc, a stun on the enemy. Now, like, when it becomes longer, I think both have like, you know, the same sort of weaknesses. It's annoying to have to do your combo. Yeah, like Koleda does have dodge counters, and that's like pretty viable. But Lycaon kind of has a similar thing where, okay, yeah, you just keep using your E or specials and you just sit there and you stun. And when it matters, I think the damage that he provides and just honestly the synergy that he has with Ellen, I don't think you could put him any lower than not even talking about tier 2 at this point. Like, putting Lycaon in tier 2 would be fucking would honestly be crazy. But 0.5 I think is, you know, like where I would honestly put a character like him.
My point is, Lycaon is only good on one single team. Yes. And that is an ice team, because the only thing what has him possibly above Koleda is the fact that he provides, ice damage bonus in the form of shred, but regardless.
And stun multiplier.
Yeah, but honestly, Lycaon feels so fucking shit to play, at least for me personally, that's a subjective opinion.
I did not feel
that. I think he is even with Koleda. If I am being objective, if I'm being subjective, I think Koleda is above him.
I would only put him with Koleda if Lighter is out, but we're not talking about Lighter, so I put him in 0.5 because he still has Ellen team. Even though it's just one team, he performs.
I would not put him in tier 0.5. I think that is simply wrong, because there's literally one single team you can use him in. One single team, that's it.
I mean, but that team is like, that team outperforms like 90%. I mean, outside of GUN, and unless if you dip into anomaly teams, who does Ellen's ice team lose to?
I mean, I would argue every single anomaly team, Sujuan team possibly.
Yeah, it's different though, because we're talking about like, you know what I mean? We're just talking about stunners, and there isn't even.
Yeah, the other 3 featured 5-star characters, right?
Yeah. You know, I don't know. The point is that, like, for me, I think that what he does for his ideal team is pretty amazing. There is not at this time another character in the game that shreds and also provides the stun damage bonus that he does. And just to be clear as well, because when Chingy came out, we were like, the question immediately came up: is Chingy better? Like, can you replace Lycaon with Chingy in Ellen's best ice team? And the answer is no. So like,
Oh yes, you
in
can.
terms of value,
I mean,
well,
yes,
I mean,
you
like,
can.
I feel like you
well,
can.
sorry. What I mean is that like, it does Ellen end up performing better with Lycaon as
Not by
opposed to
much.
Chingy?
No.
Yeah,
no,
and
not-
like
not really.
it's still skewed towards Lycaon, even despite, you know, Chingy got buffed, by the way, if you guys remember from like the pre-release to launch, which is crazy. But even with all that and her being, I think, probably the highest damage increase stunner in the game, Lycaon still edges out. I feel like it'd be kind of weird to put him in the same spot as Koleda. Like,
Yeah, so
you
I
know?
also feel like Lycaon will likely just, for a very long time, always be the best ice stunner for an ice team, right? And right now it's true we only have Ellen. But, you know, just like how we only have Burnice as a fire anomaly, or we only have Jane, well, okay, no, we have Piper. We only have Zhu Yuan as an ether character. We have to evaluate them in their niche. And to me, I think Lycaon is just very likely future-proof for ice teams, despite even being
he'll
a stand-up
definitely age
character.
way better.
I think so, yeah. As we get more ice characters in the future, I can absolutely see Lycaon still being the GOAT for those teams. So I think he belongs in tier 0.5 in comparison to most. I never had the gameplay issues that Rivenus is mentioning with him. You just dodge when needed, and then you press and hold the left click button. And for maybe the third one, you can swap cancel it. And that's really all there is to him. You just have to click and hold the mouse button a bit more with Lycaon compared to other characters.
Yeah, it might be skill issues, not saying that. It's just, personally, I just dislike his gameplay. This entire hold left click and then you charge for like what feels like an eternity, but then you get hit in the meantime because you kind of do not want to cancel it, but you have to. Then you have to dodge counter, and then everything feels bad. I don't know. It just feels bad to me personally. It's not that
I'd
it is
rather
bad.
hold
it just
than
feels
have to
bad.
spam click like you do on Chingy.
Oh god,
Breaks my
Chingy.
fingers.
Yeah.
Chingy is
Oh,
the best.
Chingy, man. Oh god.
Yeah, you're mashing the left click button, and if you slow down the left click a little bit, she does like the finisher attack. You're like, no! Well, anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so are we fine with tier 0.5 then?
I am fine with tier 0.5.
I am too.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Oh man, sorry, Rivenus. We keep
Yeah, it's what shall I do? I mean, there are only two things which are really important. Those are Lucy and Burnice. But, I mean, we will probably agree on those. So.
Probably, yes. Okay, MZ Arena. This is the place for hot takes, I think.
So, yeah, that is a place for a hot take. My take is... So, the question is, how do we evaluate her? Do we evaluate her on the average player, or do we evaluate her on her potential? Because I think that is the difference between tier 0 and tier 2.
I think it wouldn't make sense for us.
Wait, tier 2?
Yes, I think so.
I mean, you
I
make
think
a good point, yeah.
If we're calculating it at M0 5 stars and M6 4 stars, I don't think it makes sense for us to like. I don't think we're doing like a max of max, like perfect play. If you're a perfect player and you love the game this much, you're probably not M0 on your 5 stars. Like, come on, you know what I mean? Like, you spend your life speedrunning the game and you're M0 on your 5. I don't think that really makes sense. So I think,
guys.
you know, on the average player.
Sorry, Billiam gave $2 super chat. Thank you so much. And he asks, does no one play with a controller? LOL. Do you guys play with a controller?
No.
I play on mobile. Like I do most of my stuff on phone now. I still play on PC most of the time. But
I play the new Sonic on controller.
Way back, Sonic Adventures, some 2 or whatever. Oh no, man. Yeah, that's my childhood at least. Let's see.
They just had a new one come out.
Oh yeah, a new one.
Yeah.
Okay, so I use controllers, but it's for cinematic shots because it's really hard to get a smooth pan with the mouse, right? But a controller, because you can just hold the left joystick, it does a nice little smooth pan. So for those of you few content creators out there that want nice cinematic shots for the background and B-roll, there you go, a little bit of advice. Anyway, okay, so that's super chat out of the way. What were we talking about, Rina? Oh yeah, we're talking about Rina. Okay.
So I guess
I'd put it at tier 1 minimum.
I would argue if you can play Rina extremely well and you especially can switch her in basically every 5 seconds. Also, by the way, it seems like Rina is bugged.
Oh, bugged. Okay.
Yeah, you can check our ZZZ server for that. Life has posted something.
Are you talking about her C1?
No, her Yes.
Yeah,
only
it's
seems
it's
too-
the text. Like actually, well, I don't know. But yeah, the text is wrong on it.
Yeah,
But I mean, we're not
regardless.
talking about C1.
Yeah, so point being, I think if you can swap her in every 5 seconds, it's good. If you have her signature, you need to do that every 3 seconds, which makes it extremely hard, but that would definitely be tier 0, because that weapon is just extremely fucking good. Otherwise, if you cannot do that and you lose like even 50% uptime, I would put her tier 2, because she doesn't provide much else, especially if you cannot make use of the increased shock duration for disorders specifically. So I think going for tier 1 for the average player is my take.
I'd have her 0.5 or tier 1 minimum.
Okay.
I feel like I have to say that every 8 seconds to do anything in this game, especially if we're talking about for the average player, like it does not make sense to put her in tier 1. Now I know that like if you have a bit more like fluency, or if you're like a bit more familiar with Rina, she could definitely be in like that 0.5, like maybe even tier 1. But I seriously feel like Rina is maybe one of the most like annoying characters to keep track of in terms of like stats and buffs and like what she's doing. She, if I'm not mistaken, in a lot of cases, like is kind of locked behind changing the way that you play your entire team around, not just because, you know, you have to maintain the pen ratio buff, but I think like some calculations show that like you'd have to swap off to pen ratio 2, which means that you'd have to like whether or not you use like pen ratio with your DPS now gets changed, and then you have to change, and then you like Rina, I think for herself right now isn't even at her max potential, which I don't think is like a negative towards her, but you can't even get her max pen ratio buff, which I do think
with the
leaves
time
her
logic. Then you would have to say that for Nicole too, no? Nicole's 3 seconds.
Or like 5 or 6,
I guess.
right?
Yeah.
Yes, I agree, but I think that the clumping I think is kind of different, because once enemies are stuck together, they not only get stuck together, they also get like stunned for like a brief moment, which I think is more valuable than Rina walking onto field, pressing E, and then like, okay, now you have 8 seconds where you have to do everything. And like, even if there's multiple, even if there's like multiple things going on, you have to keep remembering to like, okay, now I swap back to Rina, like do my thing, and then swap back to Rina and do my thing, and then swap back to Rina and do my thing. Whereas I think in most cases, if you're playing with GUN, once the main wave is over, you're just relying on chain attacks to apply her orb, or you're using her EX special. Like I think I Win to Lose put in his GUN video, when someone's doing an extended long basic attack and you have time to swap out, and then, but again, I know we're just talking about the average player. I just think that Rina in 0.5 is not like I could never see that. Like I feel like that's like if you're like a really good player, I'm sure you can make it happen, but I don't think like the average person will ever get to that point, because it's just by the time you do that, honestly, I think Rina's probably gonna just be released with better with like better characters to like replace her or something.
And there's also there's significant opportunity cost for swapping on and off every 3 seconds, right? Because like so many characters, the best part of their kits are kind of backloaded in their B5s or whatever, or you don't have any energy, or the character won't even swap on properly because they're still lingering from earlier. Just like a lot of awkward stuff for the average player. It sounds like we're all fine with her being in tier 1, taking an average of Rivenous between the super skilled and the unskilled, and based on Gibbs, myself, I think she's fine at tier 1. Kana, wait, did you end up saying what you think she should be in?
She's okay in tier 1. I probably would have leaned lower towards tier 2, but I don't think the difference between like tier 1 and tier 2 is like so significant, to be honest. It's not like tier 0 to tier 3 or anything.
Okay, everyone happy with tier 1?
Yeah.
Great. Move on from Rina. Next character is Ellen. Ellen.
Still tier 0.
0. Anyone else want to add anything to that?
Sure.
Oh, oops. I didn't do tier 2 to 3, but yeah.
Oh, kinda.
I think Ellen definitely still has to stay tier 0. I know right now, like I don't think I don't think the meta right now or the Shiyus really favor ice at all. Like I think in most cases actually, yeah, they kind of force you to pick something that isn't ice, at least for one team. But usually I end up using Judyuan or Ellen on the other side. And I feel like, Ellen is still performing how she does or how she originally has. There's really no difference. I think I've seen a few people swap out someone like Sokaku now for Caesar just because they don't want to deal with how annoying it is to do the chain attacks or do like or like even mess with the flag mechanic to get the attack increase over just being shielded. And honestly, like with that, I think Ellen has really not like dropped or changed at all from being a solid DPS, which is what she was at the start. But I do think that while she stays in tier 0, like as you'll see with the next characters that we talk about, she's definitely, I think, like one of the last characters I reach for nowadays. Like I usually just use Jane and Judyuan, but that's not really anything towards Ellen. I think she's still like very good and she deserves to be tier 0. But I will say that she does feel really or much weaker when you don't have Lycaon, especially now that the ice advantage Shiyus have gone off. Yeah, like for sure.
Yeah, I think T0 is fair personally. Can honestly just keep it quite short. What about you, Rivenus?
I regret pulling her, but yeah, T0.
That's a pretty high accolades for a character you regret pulling for.
I mean, subjective versus objective is something different, right?
Fair enough. Okay.
All right.
Unanimous. Is she the first unanimous between us four for tier 0? Might be. Huh. All right. Well,
was her? Oh yeah, no. Yeah, I think Ellen was. Yeah, I think Ellen was. Okay.
Maybe Nico, but yeah, definitely Ellen for sure. So that's pretty good. Yeah. Congrats to Ellen for being the first one there. So next up is Corin, easily the best character in the game.
I actually have Corin invested in too. She is, she's also F core skill for me, and I have her also at 15. I don't think she's like unusable. I do like the obvious elephant in the room is that when someone moves away, you're instantly like a tier 4 character. But for like most DPSs, I think right now you are kind of playing under the assumption that you can force someone to stop moving, right? So like you're playing off of this stun, right?
Yeah. What you are saying is that Corin is really good versus mandrakes.
Okay, well, I mean, the thing is, like, if all you're doing, or if the only or the biggest weakness of a character is that they have to stop moving for you to do damage, I mean, like, I don't think there are that many characters in the game, or from the DP or from the attack agent category, that don't actually play under the assumption that you're going to stun first, then do your rotation. And I don't think when you get to that point with Corin, she is so unusable that she is, like miles worse than like Billy or even like Anton, Neko, like hell, honestly, like even Soldier, as we'll get to her. But I think because it's like really hard to like see her chainsaw target move away as you're holding out the chainsaw, I think like probably the highest you could give her is like tier 2. Like I don't think you could ever put her any higher than that.
I vote for tier 2 as well, right?
Yeah, I just think
in between Neko and Billy.
Yeah, like, I just think she's like physical Judyuan, but she's a 4-star, so like remove like 50% of like the power and puts her in like tier 2.
Her kit also like synergizes perfectly, like exactly perfectly.
Wait,
with the whole stun character composition.
Did Guoba just join us? Guoba, you there?
Yo.
The bear.
Sorry, we already put Ben in tier 3. Sorry, buddy, you lost your chance. You missed out. We just finished Corin as well.
Wait, did we finish her yet? She's still in tier 0.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I just finished talking about Corin. I don't know if anyone else has any thoughts on Corin.
Yeah, I think she's fine tier 2.
Tier 2. Easy enough. All right. Guoba, you fine with that? Hopping in on Corin?
I'm just looking through them right now. Yeah, Corin there seems... I
Fair
just
enough.
don't like
Goomba
seeing
just
them
died
outside
looking.
of tier 0.
Whoa, dude, you fit in perfectly. Hot takes tier list. God damn.
All right, next character is M6 Lucy. So you guys can start
Yeah,
arguing about it.
like tier 0. Let's move on to Burnice, also tier 0.
Okay.
That's
Yeah, I
crazy.
think she's tier 0 as well. I think the character's busted.
Wow.
Mm,
Okay.
I don't know if I'd put her in tier 0.
Okay,
Where
you
she's
don't
6?
count. Do you want to leave the call?
C6, she gives
Okay.
you the attack buff. You get crit damage. She does damage, and her buffs have like permanent uptime.
So,
Okay, so here's my thoughts. If we leave Nicole in tier 0, I think it's fine to have Lucy in tier 0. I think the two are similar, if not, I would even say Lucy's a bit better than Nicole overall.
Yeah.
It's just that when I put them next to Caesar, right, I always circle back to Caesar, right? But when you put like Lucy next to Caesar, not only are their damage buffs similar, but Caesar obviously, at least in my opinion, just does a lot more, providing invincibility, super fast stuns, versus, maybe Lucy does more damage. I think Lucy does more damage, but yeah, so that's just kind of my
But
take.
is there any teams where Caesar and Lucy like steal each other's slots? I feel like there's none.
yeah, Burnice teams.
Yeah, anomaly
yeah.
or disorder teams, right? Disorder teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would run Jane and like both Caesar and Lucy too. I would probably still be fine with like just using Seth's defensive assist over.
I think Seth is a bum, but we'll get
I think
there.
he is too. Don't get me wrong. don't get it twisted. I think he's a bum too. But I think doesn't overlapping attack buffs kind of not make sense for the two of them?
Fair
Just
enough.
for
Yes, it
Felix.
definitely gets diluted.
And Seth also provides like, especially if we're talking about M6, like way more days than Lucy. Not that you're using Lucy
Well, it
exclusively
depends
for
what
days or
team
anything,
it
but
depends what team you're running that you would need the days.
I mean, well, okay. What I'm speaking from like specifically is if you had to choose between like Jane, Seth, and your choice of Caesar, or Jane, Lucy, and Caesar, like one team gives you anomaly proficiency buff, which wouldn't be diluted by like another attack increase, versus another one that has two, anomaly or two attack focused buffs. And then one of the teams gives you more days from like the second target, aka Seth, and the other doesn't. Like Lucy's pretty much just there for the attack increase and the crit damage buff, which obviously Jane doesn't gain any value from. And then it just kind of feels like I would never run Jane, Lucy, and Caesar together, as opposed to just swapping over to Seth, because Seth takes literally no like field time at all if you really want to, and he still gives you the anomaly proficiency buff. He still gives you the days, and he also fulfills, obviously he fulfills like the additional ability.
Okay. So are you advocating for tier 0.5?
If you want to move Nicole down, I think that's okay. In my own opinion, like in my own thoughts, I never put Nicole in the same tier as Caesar, but I think that like if we're gonna leave Nicole there, I could maybe see Lucy being up there, because again, it is like a very like universal support. However, I like just exactly like you. I wouldn't lose, dude. Caesar is really similar, like very similar feeling in my opinion to Lucy. Like, yeah, one maybe applies or does like a little bit more anomaly or something along those lines, depending on how you're using them. But like, I don't know if you guys have personally done it, but running Caesar and Lucy together, I just feel like it doesn't make sense. That's kind of like running
I think it
Lucy
does.
and
I think it's
like
fine.
Lucy and Sokaku together. I feel like that. Like, would you ever do that? I also wouldn't do that.
No.
But Lucy, Caesar, Soldier 11.
I could see that more. I could see that more.
Let's have Goba say something. He literally has not been here for the last 1.5 hours.
Gooba thoughts. Also, I'm Gib, by the way. Because
Hello, Gib. I think I wasn't here for the reasoning for Nicole. Why was Nicole put tier 0?
Oh, I said tier 0.5, but hey, you guys.
Yeah, I think tier 0.5. I think Lucy's more universal than Nicole.
Yeah.
Hey, this
I
is
would
a
agree
hot
on
takes
that.
tier list, Guoba. Get with the
hot
times,
takes.
buddy.
My
Oh,
thing with
sorry.
Nicole is
that what
I
Ben's
think
tier three?
Caesar can
Okay,
definitely
all
bump
right.
out Nicole because we don't have them in ether DPS yet. Like once we have more ether DPS, I think it allows Nicole to move back up. But I still think Nicole's like insane, so I don't know.
Okay,
But
so
I'm-
I guess with Guoba
Yeah, I
as the 5th vote tiebreaker, we can't actually move Nicole down to tier 0.5.
I'm sorry, Nicole.
Yeah,
Yeah. Is that
that's fine.
Are we gonna be okay
So
with
she
that?
owes us
Nicole
money.
down,
okay?
but Lucy is certainly T0, especially at M6, which, well, we are ranking off.
Okay. Okay.
Wait. If we move Nicole down, do you think I was advocating for Nicole to 0.5 if Lucy also goes down? I don't think Lucy's.
No,
If
I think
Lucy
Lucy
is,
has more general use than Nicole though.
She does. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
and she also does much more damage.
you think she's on the same tier as Caesar?
Yes.
Well,
Yeah,
for a
because
different
I think
reason.
you all the stuff you named for Lucy, you forgot fire teams because we only have Soldier 11. Well, I mean, and Burnice.
And Burnice. Yes.
Ben.
Okay, all right.
Ben Bigger.
Okay, Ben propagandist.
Oh yeah.
I don't
Ben.
know.
Oh my
I don't know.
gosh, we forgot about him.
That's crazy.
Oh, sorry, Guoba.
It's so good. It's so good. Yeah, I like Lucy Tizer. I think she's very universal, and she has the niche in off-field damage if more characters like Burnice come out. Because
Dude,
Caesar can't buff Burnice's off-field.
Imagine a character that buffs minions. I can't wait.
Oh my god.
Bang Boo meta. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm
Bang
waiting
Boo
for the
meta.
Bang Boo guy. If they have Bang Boo buffs in the Hollow Zero, I'm waiting for we get a character that does that.
Yo, what's Enzo? Yeah, make Enzo a playable character, please. All right.
Sure.
Okay. So I think Lucy tier 0. I'm fine with tier 0 or 0.5 personally. It is hard. She's on the fence for me, and I can go either way with her. So, yeah. Everyone okay with that?
Yep.
Okay, so next character is Piper. Let's talk about little old Piper here.
I would
I think
rank
she's
her
0.5.
in 0.5. Yeah.
I think of the characters that need to fill a certain role, like, you know, if you try to like replace GUN with Billy, you are gonna feel miserable. But I actually think that playing Piper does not feel nearly as bad comparatively. Like when you have to fill in the anomaly slot with Piper, I don't think you were like on the ground like, why God have you forsaken me? Like it's really not the same as, you know, playing Anton or Corin in replacement.
Or Ben.
Yeah.
Okay, well, hey, I got to be respectful to the Baron here. But I think, you know, 0.5 I think for Piper I think is okay. I think if you would go lower to tier 1, I think it also is fine. M6 I think is what like really seals the deal though. Like I think M6 Piper, especially if we're talking about her signature, like that's a real threat. Like a real threat.
Oh yeah,
I think
she
M6 is
cleans
that
up.
crazy there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think in terms of like I don't think it would necessarily change her top end, but I think like in terms of being usable, like your basic attacks don't feel nearly as dumb, even though I don't think you should really be using it anyways. But like her power, like just in terms of how long you can stay on the spins for, like sometimes I feel like you are sitting in the spin trying to gather mobs together too. Like I don't think there would even be that much of a difference between tier 1 and 0.5, but I think
if she
0.5
ever went
is
into tier 1, Grace would have to move down. I'm not saying she should move down. I'm just saying if she moved down, Grace would have to move down. But I want.
Are
her to
they
be
that
0.5.
different?
Yes.
Like I just feel like they're just like another anomaly that you'd have to fill up, who isn't unfortunately Jane
I think
or
Piper
Burnice.
is definitely better in just assault team and then disorder teams, which is like all anomaly now. She has like the full Sons of Calydon team, and then we're getting more anomaly characters. I think she just keeps getting better.
There is also one thing which Burnice mains have cooked up, which I honestly didn't think about, but it felt really good after trying it. And in a Burnice Piper Lucy team, ulting
You
with
just
Lucy.
spam the boars, so yeah, that joke is crazy.
No. Using the Lucy ultimate actually solves all
ult.
of your energy issues.
Oh yeah, because it gives. How much energy does that give again?
It
Isn't
gives
it
10
20?
energy. Gives 10 energy to the entire team and 20 to the next person you swap in.
Yo,
Yeah, that goes back
alright.
on the Sons of Caledon team. That team
And-
is like unironically cracked.
When I tried it, so I tried it a lot, it did not really change the clear times too much in between. Like, it didn't really matter too much how, like, which ultimate you have been using, but it felt just so much better. This
Yeah.
30 energy for Piper just literally changes everything about her.
Yeah, because she's
And-
always like just awkwardly a bit short of energy to finish off the last wave.
You have to
right?
do like an extra hit or two.
Yeah, a few,
to
get to it.
basics, you know. Yeah. Okay, so Piper. Look, my only issue with Piper, the only reason I don't use Piper is because Jane exists. That's
Yeah,
the only
same.
reason, right? So,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I think I think tier 0.5 is fair.
Mhm.
Yeah. Does anyone have anything else to say? I think Guoba, did you talk about Piper yet, or?
I loved her on the 1.0 beta, and I mained her for a bit on release. I think she's really, really good. Yeah,
Great.
I think she might fall off a bit, but
Yeah,
right now,
there's
0.5.
Yeah, she'll get gapped by new
one
anomalies,
is
but
pretty good.
definitely
Yeah.
solid when you don't have them.
yeah, there's too many cooks in the kitchen now with all the anomaly agents running around. I don't really know where you fit them anymore.
Yeah, it's definitely the anomaly meta right now. Okay, so, all right, so Piper being in tier 0.5 for now, I think is reasonable. We can move on to the next character, who happens to be everyone's favorite voice-changing little gremlin, Sokaku. So here we go. Okay, I'll start the poll. You guys can start talking about her if you want.
So, I think Sokaku is pretty interesting because, I mean, she gives the 1k attack, whatever, but in ice teams, she is extremely good just because of her, well, core and additional ability. I think what is extremely interesting for Sokaku right now, I personally would currently value her somewhere between tier 0.5 and tier 1, something in between. It's really hard for me to actually judge that because I think the only team she's really good in is, well, the Ellen team, but she is the best in slot for that team. And she will get a massive boost the moment where we can actually use all ultimate, simply because her ultimate damage is really freaking crazy.
Yeah, she does fat ultimate damage. It takes mad field time though.
Yeah,
I feel
sure,
like-
but I mean, if you literally kill everything in that time, like, whatever.
I feel like we shouldn't go too deep into like what that will be though, because we don't even know what they're gonna do with the
Right.
ultimates change.
Yeah.
Like they
I
could nerf
agree.
all ultimates, you know what truth
Yeah,
be
that's
told,
fair.
like as an aside, I don't think they're gonna let the scalings of the ultimates be the way that they are if every ultimate can be used, or every character or every like boss is going to be marginally harder. Because if you can use Jane's ult and Burnice's ult in the
Yeah,
like at the same time, that is like this is gonna be like the easiest game in the world.
Yeah, that's insane, actually.
But I think
Yeah,
that if you could be I think 0.5 and tier 1, I think is fair for Sokaku. I do think she probably feels about as clunky as Rina, to be honest. Like, yeah, of course you could just slam down the flag and get the attack increase, and that's okay. But like that chain attack, like you could really like get up, do like 100 jumping jacks and come back by the time it's done casting. Which is, you know, it kind of sucks, but ultimately I think what stinks the most about her is that when you want to use her for, like, let's say if you're using a DPS who has Starlight Engine, having to get the chain attack or having to line things up so that you get the quick, you know, like you activate Starlight Engine means that Sokaku is going to have to be used in like a little bit of like you're going to have to change the way that you do your chain attacks. Otherwise, you're going to waste your whole stun duration performing the flag. And that's like you literally get maybe at most 3 or 4 seconds if you do Sokaku's chain attack to then be able to swap to another character and then do your damage. Like it happened so many times to me where I was like, wow, my Ellen is doing very little damage. And then I realized that I'm doing like 4 hits under a stunned window with Ellen.
Yeah,
because Sokaku just takes so long.
Sokaku and Ellen's chain times are both long too, for that matters.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the issue. Sokaku's biggest weakness is just field time, right?
Yeah.
that's really her main weakness, and it is kind of clunky. You have to like swap her on, do 2 EX specials and before the chain in order to blah blah blah, right? You guys get the gist of it. So yeah, this is actually pretty crazy. This is the first poll that's been this split, like 41-40, and it keeps bouncing back and forth. So maybe the community.
I think literally the only reason she, like, a lot of people probably think she's tier 1 is just clunkiness to play, because her buffs are still insane. She has res shred, and then she has a fat attack buff.
The res shred is only for ice though, and we only have Ellen right now.
Yeah.
Well, you'd only use her in an ice team, so.
Yeah, but then it's like you can't put her in tier 0 when Lucy can just go in any team.
I wouldn't say tier 0. I was saying 0.5 and 1.
0.5 or 1 for me.
Yeah.
That's all of us is 0.5 or 1.
Yeah.
So I guess
let's let the community decide. Let's see where this poll goes.
It seems like it's 0.5. I think we can let it settle there. Well, I don't know. It's going back down again. Wow. Okay. Yeah, so Kaku's definitely on the fence. 0.5 or 1 is completely fair for her.
I would put her in tier 0.5 at the end. I think she's a bit worse than Piper and Nicole. Only for the reason that she has basically only one team she really excels in currently.
Okay. All right.
It is also M6, to be clear, as well. It is also M6, which does does actually contribute quite a bit damage-wise to your team.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. All right. Let's we can move on. I think this is good enough. So tier 0.5 for Sokaku from both us and the community. Not too shabby. Looks like the community tier list is starting to converge towards ours. It's looking very similar now.
This is not a very hot takes tier list, guys.
Hang on, guys.
Wait a second.
We got to mix it up. There we go. We'll leave Ben up there for now.
Oh,
thank you.
Finally.
There we go. Well, maybe we'll have to revisit.
but then we move Lycaon down to tier 3, right?
Oh.
Koleda also tier 0.
Hey, no,
this guy hates Lycaon.
This isn't a haters tier list. This is a lovers tier list here. Okay, we love Ben, so we're moving him up.
Ben.
All right. Okay, Soldier 11 is next.
Probably the hottest take on Soldier 11.
That's right. Get us here for Soldier 11 propaganda.
I genuinely think Soldier is 0.5.
Yo, 0.5 placement. Okay.
I don't think that's like a scalding take. To be honest, I thought you were going to call her tier 3 or tier 0.
And not as hot as Soldier.
I don't think she could be tier 0, but I think she's 0.5. She's gotten buffed literally every patch.
So the question is, was her bug patched?
Was her back patched?
Bug.
Bug.
Bug. Not the insect kind of bug. So there's a problem with her basic 4. If you swap out, it doesn't do damage. So you cannot swap cancel it.
Oh, nice.
I have not seen that.
I actually didn't know that. Wow.
There was a Reddit thread about it. And
I'm sure they'll patch it.
I'm not sure if that was patched or not, but that actually is pretty detrimental for her.
Lucy also had a bug before where her ult didn't do anything.
Wait, should I just try it real quick? Yeah, I'll just try it real quick. I got Soldier right here. You guys can keep talking while I try this.
All right.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Gib. Hot take aficionado.
You have a VR training, right?
Soldier, she has 100% uptime on her DPS. I think she feels fun to play. I think people that don't know how to time the fire suppression, if that's like your reason to hate her, I mean, just don't play the character. But if you're gonna complain about it, I feel like it's a skill issue. Like I said, she's gotten buffed every patch. She will be getting buffed in the future as well as lighter, even though we're not keeping that in mind. And I don't know. She also is very beautiful. That's she goats.
Okay, buddy. I mean, but the thing is, we're not, again, I think if we're gonna make a tier list based off of perfect play or something, it would look a little different. You know what I mean?
No, that B4 is definitely doing damage.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's fine.
Yeah,
I have not had any.
Possible that it was patched. Yeah,
see there.
I'm not sure.
Well, okay, the Bang Boo just murdered that thing. Let's
I will send you the Reddit thread because it was pretty visible in there.
How recent was that Reddit
thread, though? Yeah.
1 or 2 weeks.
Weeks ago.
Oh, oops, that's B3. Oh, B3 killed it. Yeah, no, the B4 is definitely doing damage from what I can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think her being in tier 1 or 0.5 is okay. I think honestly, the way that it felt leaning wise, all the standard characters low key felt like they could all just be in tier 1, and then every limited that they've released is basically tier 0,
Yeah,
which makes sense. The 0.5s are really the characters that are already good and like don't even necessarily have their best pairings. Like Nicole, you know, Lycaon, stuff like that. That's where it feels, at least for me.
It's ended in 6 days ago.
I see. Yeah.
The showcases are that much better.
I think it seems fine, you know, from what I've tried.
Yeah, it's like the second part, which doesn't do damage.
Oh, like it's missing a few ticks? Not.
Yeah, you can open the Reddit thread. I think there's a video in there which showcases that quite well.
Okay. Go back. So right here.
You can see it. There, it doesn't do damage.
Copy that.
I don't think that's a bug. I think they're switching off too early. Koyo has it coded for when you swap off a character, you have to stay in their animation a certain amount of time before they can like be swap canceled off. I feel like that's what they're missing now. I could be wrong though.
That's still pretty bad though, I think, because the before animation is pretty long, if that is the case.
Yeah, I mean,
I personally haven't had that problem, so I don't know.
Look, I agree.
It's a bug anyway. Like it's not relevant to a tier list, I think.
Yeah, it's supposed to get. Yeah, it'll get fixed eventually.
Yeah, if it's a confirmed bug, right, then we can expect them to fix it. So yeah. Okay.
Anyway, I would put her tier 1, but I also have had the displeasure to play her for a little bit.
Okay. I like Soldier personally. I think she's great, but so yeah, I mean, when it comes to dealing with fire weak teams and sides, like when you kind of look at the rest of the characters here, especially the other fellow DPS character Piper, Soldier doesn't really feel worse than Piper for fire weak teams or for fire weak chambers. I think she feels great for them. So
yeah,
I'm totally fine with her being in tier 0.5 personally. Community is close. It's pretty split. Yeah.
Big.
I mean, yeah, I'm not like, if you want to put her in 0.5 or tier 1, I think that's okay. Pretty much anything below tier 0 is probably fine. I think there's like a clear divide between who's good, who's bad. Yeah, like
oh man, tier 3 Soldier.
It's below tier 0, so
yeah. We fulfilled Kana's condition. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Goba, what's your call?
I feel like I would be too biased because I was a Soldier main for like my whole life until Burnice came out. I think she's really good, and the fact that we don't have outstanding by DPS unless you're a Ben main DPS Giga Chad, then Soldier is your only option. So she'll definitely fall off when we get
crit Burnice.
Yeah, maybe crit Burnice, but I think 0.5 because she just fills the
crit Burnice literally shreds the entire HP bar in one stun window.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Whereas Neko, it makes sense being lower because there's so many physical DPS already, so her role is extremely saturated. But I think Soldier 0.5 and 1, yeah. I'd say 1 even as a Soldier main, but 0.5 also works because she isn't like she's completely fine. With Piper there, I think she can be 0.5 as well.
Okay.
Yeah, then let's go 0.5.
Yep. We'll deviate slightly, but I think it's a fair placement, and seems like we're all okay with it too. So, Gibbs, looks like your mission of being
my mission is successful.
mission
Soldier
complete.
main rejoicing.
Okay. So Seth is next. Here we go.
Okay, I'm gonna start. I have one take on Seth, and the question I personally ask myself is, now that we have Burnice and Caesar, especially Caesar, why would I play Seth?
True.
That's basically just my take. It's not that Seth is necessarily bad. I feel like, for me personally, he feels a bit clunky, but again, that's subjective. But I mean, if I have Caesar, I would just play Caesar instead of Seth, and literally slot any other character in. So
I'd
Probably
put him in tier 1 just because he gives anomaly buffs, and like we still don't have like a lot of people doing that, but he is definitely replaceable by the newer characters, 100%.
I mean, yeah, I'm kind of in like the exact same spot. I don't know. There's something special about not having to be on field with the character, especially when you want to play hyper carry-esque characters, and that's kind of what we've gotten. But I do think that he is a little bit worse off because I don't think you would ever use him over Lucy. And like if you're trying to play him, or if you're trying to play like a disorder team, there's just like, why would you ever use him over the free character Lucy? Like it just doesn't really feel like there's a good reason for it. That being said, I think when like prior to Burnice being released, like people running Lucy and Seth together, that was a very nice feeling team. Like you throw out, like you use your E on Lucy, or you'd use your E whenever you get like, or you'd get out your chain attack and give the attack increase to the team. And Jane was on field 24/7. That was amazing. And I mean, there really isn't any other team that you could, that you would probably feel nearly as good about. I think maybe arguably you'd get a little bit more value, or no, I can't even think of a team. I think he was supposed to be made with Jane, and it makes sense because they were together, you know, the whole relationship thing in the story. But after they're, you know, after or now that Jane has better partners, that's it.
I
like
will
Seth
say,
is, you know, poor Seth.
a lot of people won't pull for Jane, Caesar, and Burnice, right? Which gives a lot of value for Seth if you just pulled for Jane as one of Jane's best, like kind of hyper carry Jane playstyles, right? Because you only need to invest into one anomaly character, in this case Jane, and Seth will absolutely shine. There's not going to be any physical thing you fight that the pair of them aren't just going to completely trash, right? So for me, Seth, yeah, I mean, he feels fine, but like you said, is he the best character in like for Jane? Not with, you know, disorder, but a ton of people won't have Jane plus Burnice. A ton of people won't have Jane plus Caesar plus Burnice, right? So for that value, you know, I think he's okay. And he can be used with any anomaly character that you really just want to focus on their damage. Like there's no reason you can't use him with Piper. There's no reason you can't use him with Burnice if you know, want to focus on burn damage. So yeah, I feel okay with him. I think he's decent.
Yeah, I don't think he's like tier 2 or tier 3 or anything. Cool character.
Yeah, low field time unless, well, you use his chain attack or something. But
if you on field Seth, I think he feels a little.
Oh, he's
crazy.
Atrocious. He's atrocious.
Yeah,
Is that a challenge?
Okay. Oh well, you know.
Oh my gosh, his shield gives himself 100 anomaly proficiency, right?
It's whoever it's on. Yeah, whoever has the shield on.
He gets a shield for himself too, right? I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So, but like whoever
Shock
you swap
Seth.
to.
Let's go, Shock Seth.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you were to DPS Seth and you had C6, you'd probably go in crit build because he has like the guaranteed crit at C6.
Oh, okay, there you go. Yeah, the crit damage is C6. Okay, so are we fine with tier 1 then for him? Is that reasonable?
Valid at tier 1.
Yeah, definitely at least tier 1. He's got niche buffs that no one else has right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Undiluted too.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. Okay, so now we're starting to get to the point where they can't actually see all the characters here. So I'm gonna put this awkwardly right here. There you go. It's a little awkward, but all right. So Seth is done. Up next, I guess we went out of order actually, but that's okay. So Chingy is next.
I think we went by faction. I think is what it's looking like.
I mean, we can just take the next 5 characters and all put them in tier 0, no?
That's actually true. Yeah.
Kinda true.
Yeah.
Like, we can literally cut this short. I don't think there's anybody disagreeing about this.
Yeah. Let's give the community a voice, and we
Hold on,
can't
behind
vote
Ben
it.
though,
I wonder
right?
what they'll vote.
Behind Ben,
Clueless.
we have to like, you know what I mean? Like we gotta.
Behind Ben.
Behind Ben Bigger.
Yeah, he
So big, he's taking up the whole slot.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should add a tier above it. Big tier.
Big.
Just the biggest tier, and it's Ben. See, like Ben is so crazy that they did not want to implement the ability to use characters in the overworld because of Ben.
It's like if Jax got a real weapon, like what exactly are we suggesting
Cannot
about
fit in
Ben?
doorways. this man.
Oh, well, they really should bend over backwards for him and make him controllable. So.
Whoa.
No,
I got bad these
Pause.
dude, you too, Guava. Oh god,
Okay, Chingy, does anyone have like anything insightful, like, or any slightly different take? Anyone think she's on the cusp of T0 0.5? I don't. Okay, look, before I get canceled here, I think she's tier 0, but anyone else have any hot takes or any takes at all for that matter?
I think her like biggest weakness from like what people keep mentioning is how slow she stuns, but that is like so overshadowed by how much stun damage she gives your team.
Yeah.
It's like crazy, honestly.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
well, let's... oh, sorry, Ben. Okay, there we go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Correct.
Oh, man, yeah. I guess the... yeah, this part of the tier list is going to be pretty uninteresting, funnily enough. So M0 Zuyuan, tier placement. I'm sorry, for Cake alone, she also deserves to be in the big tier.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, okay. T0, T2.3. I don't even know why I add those other options, but... We'll humor it.
If you want to make this section interesting, we should rate the tier 0 characters within the
rank
tier.
Them, okay. There
that
we go.
Oh, yeah, that's how we set it on fire.
Content
Then
gold
let's-
mine.
Then let's move all of them first up into tier 0 before we start ranking them.
Okay, yeah. Communities also. Yeah. So I'm going to add just a real quick parentheses for the community tier list because, you know, they can't really order it here. So we're going to do unordered for them, but we're going to order ours at the end for tier 0.
All right.
Okay. Well, let's just make sure that the community is on board with all these characters in T0. I'm almost 100% sure, but, you know, even if you know how the vote's going to end up, we still got to do it, right? So M0. So you guys can start. You guys can start arguing if you want. Jane.
Top of tier 0 is Jane and Burnice. Thoughts?
I want to... Dude, I don't know. Okay, because... Dude, GUN is kind of the... GUN is the GOAT.
She's the GOAT.
She is the GOAT. And it's not... You know, it's... For attack characters, it really is not close.
The thing of organizing them is like... I don't even think that there's like that big of a gap between... like obviously the sorter goes crazy right now. It's got the buffs and everything catered to it, but like GUN is she's still popping off.
I actually would agree with the exact ranking we have right now, except I would swap Chingy and Sujuan, and I would put Lucy behind Chingy. I think Burnice and Caesar both have more value than Jane.
Yeah, that's true.
and-
Jane's on field, and then Burnice has more longevity, and Caesar is literally just...
So Caesar is basically an instant win for any account.
Yep.
Burnice has the great advantage that you can, well, play her in any mono fire team. You can play her as off-field in any anomaly team. So she has a lot of teams she slots into. She also even is great for somebody like Corin, because Corin, well, doesn't really have too many great teams, to be fair. So a team like Corin, Caesar, Burnice works somewhat well.
Yeah.
Then Jane itself is fantastic. However, she is like a DPS, you know? It's like, it doesn't matter if you have Jane or if you have Sujuan or if you have Ellen outside of the element itself. She does not do too much for your account itself. And with other anomaly units coming in the future, you have many other disorder anomaly options you can possibly play.
I know we said we didn't want to talk about it for the future, but it's actually a little bit tough to, I think, give like a fair, accurate rating of the characters without looking a little bit into like what's officially obviously already been like announced and shown. Because like because I think if we're just taking it in the state of the game, Jane is like, I actually kind of disagree. I feel like if you have Jane on your account, everything becomes 1,000 times easier. Like
That is also
obviously
true.
you have
Jane,
to,
she just deletes everything.
like,
He
if you fight any of the shadows, Jane instantly makes them like way easier. Have you guys, like, just out of curiosity, have you guys tried killing some of the shadows with like some of the weaker anomaly characters or even GUN and stuff? It's not impossible.
I beat everything with
okay,
soldiers.
Burnice.
But you know what I mean? It feels like, I don't know. I feel that Jane trivializes those in the same way that she trivialized Razor. Like, do you guys remember when Razor first came out? Everyone's like, yo, this guy hurts.
Razor?
Like, yeah,
So-
the brute
Wasn't it
from
built
the
for her,
disputed.
though?
Oh, bro, I
Yeah,
was thinking
yeah.
of Genshin, bro. I was like, what?
No, not that guy. But the boss, like, was pretty rough. And then yeah, you're right, Groba. Like, it was built for her. But any character that kind of hits a lot, I think Jane.
I think Jane has one. So do we look at them in a singularity or within a team context? Because I think that's somewhat important. So, for example, Burnice or even Caesar, they literally can press one button and delete the entire thrash mobs at once. And Burnice especially can also group the enemies extremely easily, just as Caesar can.
Wait, did I? spell
However,
decent?
Jane cannot clear
That's
the
right.
trash
You
mobs
spelled it right.
itself.
Okay.
The only thing is you do need to group enemies. So basically, for Jane to instantly clear the trash mobs, what you need is a stunner, so that you can unleash her chain attack. Because that shit instantly clears all trash mobs, and I think that is the biggest weakness Jane has. Her AoE sucks ass without a stunner.
That's true. Yeah, it's pretty rough when you don't stun something, but if you do stun something, well, they just all die.
Yeah, she clears out the whole map.
Yeah, they just all die. Okay, so I was a bit distracted, just making sure that the community, did want to put all of them in tier 0, which they all overwhelmingly did. Surprisingly, from what I noticed, I think Burnice had perhaps the lowest amount of people that agreed for her to tier 0. I think it was 83 to 17%, which gives you an idea. Zhu Yuan was 96 to 4, if I recall correctly. So yeah, just interesting to see like the number of people that thought.
I think it's just based off of like feeling too,
Yeah.
Burnice, I don't think Burnice is hard to play or anything, but Zhu Yuan is literally, okay, they're stunned, time to use every single bullet and explode. And then like that's it. It's so straightforward. Yeah. Like you could do it on mobile, you could do it on a controller, you could do it while you're sleeping, really, to be honest. But you
have not seen my Zhu Yuan yet, I think.
Oh my God.
Dude, Riven is probably like using her basic attacks.
Oh fuck! I'm not supposed to do that.
What?
Okay.
The kicks aren't ether. What the like? Oh my God.
Oh man, get a
Oh wait,
refund.
she does ether damage.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess the discussion you guys were talking about, like universality, right? Like kind of valuing that a bit. My opinion, I think Caesar and Qingyi are probably the two most universal, right? Because like the others are damage dealers.
Yeah, I would move down all the damage dealers basically. I would put Caesar at spot 1, Qingyi at spot 2. Afterwards, honestly, Burnice and Lucy, and Jane, Sujuan, and Ellen are all.
Okay, I see. Okay, so that's Rivenus's, although you've been miscounting them all because you forgot about Ben. So
yeah,
no,
okay, we'll forgive you for that one. We'll forgive you for that one.
I want to point that out there.
Yeah, minor mistake.
Yeah.
I think to be fair though, like I think a lot of the characters in tier 0 will, or like the placement of the tier 0 will really shift just based on like what's strong or what they put in the Shiyu.
Yeah,
like
enough.
that's ultimately what it comes down to. Like, of course, Burnice is gonna beat Zhu Yuan or Ellen if she has the weakness for the weak, or if they they skew it towards anomaly. But I do think that Caesar should almost in every single case be number 1 because she is the definition of Zhongli imported into Zenless Zone Zero. Like she really is that crazy. And also, a lot of people skipped her too, which is crazy, by the way. But
I was gonna say, I see a bunch of people in I don't lose this chat saying Burnice is Kafka. I don't even see any correlation between those characters.
They're probably talking about how she will fall off, but I disagree.
That also makes no sense because if you put it into a Starro sense, Dot hasn't gotten buffed since it's come out, besides Black Swan coming out, and that was like a year later. Anomaly, they've literally just kept catering to it, like patch after patch after patch.
Okay, and the next, to be fair, there's one, I mean, in Starwell you have that as well, but let's be honest, they literally could make every single enemy mandrakes, and then, well, none of these characters matter anymore, except for Burnice, because you can literally play Burnice crit and clear very comfortably.
I think, Ellen can trash him too, right?
I mean, yeah, sure. I'm just talking about the anomaly characters.
Oh, right. Yeah, the crit
So,
based
like,
ones.
if they make an enemy which is literally immune against all kind of anomalies.
Well, they have that right now. It's that little tower thing that spins and it gives
the
buffs
mandrakes.
to
The mandrakes.
The mandrakes. That's what I said. If every single enemy
yeah.
would just be mandrakes, Jane literally does not exist anymore.
True.
And
Yeah,
the thing being, like, Burnice would not exist if you built her AP, but again, with the crit build, you can do that. Technically, it's not as good, but I mean, for this specific
so your
purpose,
argument is that because Burnice can survive outside of an anomaly meta, you think she's better than the other DPS characters here, right? That's your argument.
Basically.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's fine viewpoint to have.
I think that's really, I have no idea how Burnice, or I think it's hard to say for future proofing for these characters, because I'm sure in 1.0, none of us thought that they would really, like, oh, guys, this is how anomaly works. Anomaly is anomaly, and, like, you can do disorder. And the next patch, they're like, wait a second, this anomaly can crit. And you're like, wait a second, no one else can do that.
Yeah,
and then the patch after that, wait a second, anomaly can only be applied on field. But now anomaly can be applied when off field. What the, who knows? Who knows? I think, the DPS should be where they are, though. I agree. They're probably below the utility, but that's what's the meme name, the Honkai support rail or whatever. That's probably the same for Zenless, yeah, like it's probably Zenless Zone supports. They're all great and they're all amazing, honestly. But we'll see what ends up releasing.
One thing I like about Zenless Zone Zero is that it's reasonable to just like brute force through, not like resisted enemies, but just neutral enemies, right? Like if you have a well-built Julian, she'll still take out non-ether weak floors perfectly well, perfectly reasonable well, at least with today's content, right? Like 3-4 years down the road may not be the case, but yeah. So to me, like that's why I actually, I don't feel too strongly about like, putting like any of these characters specifically within the tier, right? I think like these characters can all, well, maybe not Lucy, I don't know, like carry your entire account, but the rest of them, they can and will carry your account for sure. Like you're going to be able to clear so much stuff because now you have Caesar, right? Now you have Jane, now you have Julianne, or even Ellen to an extent. Well, Ellen's perhaps on the threshold, but yeah.
From the experiences I've seen on or speaking to players that were like struggling too, when you get one of these tier 0 characters too, you aren't even like clearing, or the help that it provides to your account is not like, oh, now you just barely got an S or something, or you didn't just like barely clear a piece of content. You cleared in like a minute and you have like 6 minutes total to get S rank.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's the other thing, and again, that's why I think it's a little funny when people calculate damage for a Zenless, because it's like, yeah, she does 100,000 damage and Jane does 110, and like the health pool is like 5,000. It's like, whoa, that's amazing. Let's get it.
Crit Burnice, let's go.
Yeah, exactly. Like anything works if you put enough time into it.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we have 20-second Billy clears, 20-second Ben clears, 20-second Anton clears, right? Like, that's why those exist, is because you can push the damage threshold to actually reach these clear times.
Yeah,
so when it comes to the only thing I would change in the order is I would put Lucy above Ellen. That's it. Like, I scoot her down below these characters, because even if you have Lucy, like I said, like you're not going to start dumpstering the content, right? Sure. But with like these other ones up here, you will start to dumpster the content.
You have not seen main DPS, Lucy.
That takes I feel like it takes a lot of investment.
That takes some dedication.
Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it takes a lot of investment. But I mean, if you actually invest in it, she also can dumpster all of the content.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think Lucy is great because you can build her full damage and she works. You can build her as a support and she works. Like, you literally can basically slap anything on her and she will perform fine. And I think that just makes her way better of an investment. And I don't think she's ever a bad investment, which is why I put her above the DPS characters.
Yeah. Someone asked why like we have Ellen as so low. And I think it's just because a lot of teams feel way more usable regardless of what you, or the other limited DPS I should say, feel way better even if you have like substitutions in certain slots. But Ellen without like really the ice shred and really like the team that she synergizes best with, I feel like performs way worse. Like even if you're using Jane, like Jane Disorder is still going to perform relatively well compared to like Jane Hypercarry. And Burnice, like on, you know, like as a disorder unit in any way that you use her is going to perform really well. Whereas like, again, if you I don't know if you guys have tried this, but like when I tried one viewer's account, I off of a Shiyu Ice moment, I did Ellen, Lucy, and Rina, and that was maybe like the worst feeling team that I've ever used in my entire life.
It sounds painful.
Like
yes.
that was
That
like
sounds
it,
terrible.
you know, and I think that's why she's so low. Whereas like I think honestly, Ching-Yi, you get the stun off, dude. It's gone. Like the monster's gone. Like that's just the truth. Because of again how like her scaling works. But you know,
Goba, you should say something too.
Okay, well, I think Ben first is great. I then choose Caesar. I kind of prefer Burnice over Ching-Yi, but that might be recency bias with all the
Oh no,
anomaly
that's
shelling.
fine. We can keep that.
okay, buddy.
But I think Ching-Yi, I mean, they keep shilling anomaly, which is why Burnice is kind of just, I think she's just so strong right now. But if you need a stunner, Ching-Yi, Jesus Christ. And then yeah, Jane G1 I would put over Lucy as well because yeah, they're just insane DPS for your account.
Yeah.
I'll take.
Ellen, I think she will. She just has that one team. It's her problem. I think she's gonna. She definitely has the potential to rise up. I mean, Zhiyuan, they released her with Xingyi straight after.
Mm.
And then Anomaly got Jane, then Burnice, and is it Yanagi? She Anomaly.
Yeah.
So they just keep on shilling Anomaly, and the enemies are also shilling Anomaly. So I think Ellen can definitely, when she gets her limited team, she's right now rocking a A rank and an S rank standard character. So that's why I'd put her at the bottom. But she's still great DPS. It's just very restricted
She's
on the team.
Definitely pumping up next patch.
So do you think Lucy's above Ellen? Gola?
I think Ellen could carry your account more because she is a limited DPS. But if I ranked from like how strong it would be for like a team, or for your cat, I don't know.
That's a good point.
Lucy just has many more options, but unless you spend your whole life farming like Rivenous, then she can't carry a side like Ellen can.
What do you mean? I only spent like 2 months of not Trailblaze Power. The fuck? What's the thing called? Your battery.
The battery.
I only spent 2 months worth of battery. What do you mean? Basically 0 investment.
Do we agree on the rest of the tier list? Because that's our tier 0, and I think there's like a
that was what I was interested in. Is there anything you disagree generally about the tier list, Goba? Because you have not been here for like half of the tier list.
It looks pretty good. I have not had the experience with Anton. But why do you guys hate him? He just bad team.
It's just somebody needs to be a T3.
That's true.
Now we move Ben out of that.
Yeah, you know, I was gonna say, when did we leave Anton in tier 3 by himself? And I remember we moved to tier 0.
Snuck him in there.
I think Neko's problem is Soldier versus Neko debate is like Soldier got a lot of units that work really well with her, and Neko hasn't. I definitely think she can. I feel like the gap will be narrowed down a bit when they release a bit more support for her side.
Yeah.
I feel like Neko's also just gapped because Jane exists.
Yeah, exactly. It feels
really bad when you see someone literally replace you in real time. Like it does feel quite bad. You're like
Seth when he saw Caesar, he's like,
You guys know when when a new character comes out, like, hey guys, I got Jane, and it's like someone puts like cat or like the head of Jane over like Neko or something. Like that's really what it feels like when you have to play a character like that. I also honestly I feel like Neko having I guess it's like Neko's best team having Piper right now, like is probably the team that I think feels the best with her, but I also don't even know how many people want to play like those two together, because like I feel like if you use Piper, you'd want to just let's do Piper and Burnice, like woo, yay, or like Piper Grace, whatever, you know. Yeah, the curse of Neko and curse of other name for the standard banner also feels pretty bad, to be honest. Curse of Rina, curse of Neko, curse of Koleda.
Yeah. So I think Goba, the main point he brought up was Anton. I mean, for that matter, like, do we think Anton is this bad? I mean, I feel like
I don't think he is.
I mean, we can have like that, but I also don't think it matters.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's just.
I mean, we can just put him in tier 2 and remove tier 3 at this point.
Yeah, I mean, again, the difference between like bottom of tier 3, top of tier 3, bottom of tier 2, like is not that big. I think a lot of the characters in tier 2, you could almost argue being in tier 2 or tier 3 as well. So I don't think it would be that big a deal. Again, I think it looks really goofy because, I mean, if you take a look at the community tier list, I think it feels a little bit more fleshed out.
Okay, I know why. I know why it looks goofy.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Because
Ben figure.
But you would
do it.
But you would never do that to Guoba, would you? I want to lose.
You
you
wouldn't do
wouldn't.
it. Take his life. Go.
All right. No, if we can only choose one bear, we'll have to choose Guoba to save. So, Ben, down you go. Down you go.
Adios.
07.
Mm-hmm.
So sorry, Ben. Okay. So does it look a little better now, Kana?
Yeah. Yeah, it feels. I mean, again, if you want to put other characters in tier 3, like I think that's also fair too. I don't think it's that tier 3 is incorrect. I think it's that the characters in tier 3 being by themselves feels a bit wrong.
Yeah.
Is if I had to guess from like what Guoba was suggesting. Like Anton all by himself, he's the worst character in the game. Like I don't know.
No, that's not cool, man. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else have any issues with it? Rivenus, I know you want Koleda in tier 0.
I think Koleda is well on the same level as the tier 0.5 characters, just for a different reason.
Okay.
Well, what's the reason?
The fact that she's hyper flexible while also providing the fastest stun application in the game. However, she does not have the same utility or the same. So basically, she's way more of a generalist than, for example, Lycaon, who is basically locked into ice teams. And I think both of that has a lot of value, but for like different matters.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, if you play her in like the dodge counter thing, or if you do that quick swap thing you're talking about where you honestly, I have not done the whole like while she's in the air, I rotate through every single character while she's flying. But I could see how that's like a good or like a more appropriate way for her to gain value. But I think every time that I hear someone talk about Koleda, it's like, yeah, she's good, but, or like, yeah, like she does it, but.
Here's one argument I do have against Koleda, not to like hate on Koleda, because I like Koleda, right? But Koleda is a bit more enemy dependent in comparison to, for example, Qingyi, right? And
that is true.
It's because like she's much more reliant on her dodge counter. Enemies that just don't attack as much, Koleda is going to stun not nearly as fast, especially without her M1. So yeah, I mean, when the enemy starts like trying to punch your face, oh my god, that enemy is not going to be able to even...
He's not going to live.
Yeah, he's just going to be stunned in like 2 seconds, right? Okay, maybe like 8 seconds or whatever, but you get my point. So, well, actually, yeah, sometimes it is 2 seconds, right, Rivenus? Like with the M1 E into dodge counter E, they're toast.
M2. It's the M2.
Oh, it's
her
M2.
M1,
Sorry.
Her M1 is unfortunately pretty shitty.
Oh, geez,
But,
yeah. M2 is the one that gives energy, then, right?
Isn't there M1?
M1.
Impact?
M1 is
Wait, sorry.
M1 is 15% more days on her EX explosion, I think only, if I remember correctly. But
Yeah.
overall, because she already gains a lot of days built up, it basically is like an increase of about 3%.
Oh yeah, it's M2. I thought it was M1 because it's placed where M2 usually is. Or sorry,
Her M2 is completely broken.
M2 is placed where M1 usually is in the top left. So that's okay. Yeah, brain fried. That explains why I thought it was M2 or M1. Her M2 was M1. Okay. Anyway, all right. So yeah, I guess if we're not going to move her, then we can just kind of move on from Koleda. Yeah. Does that mean we're done, everyone? Or
I think we are chilling.
Are the rows ordered like to 0.5, 1, 2?
No.
Well, I guess we should while we're at it.
Okay.
Because yeah, I think Seth should. I don't know. Actually,
Oh,
I don't know. Never mind. I think Seth's happy there.
It might be like another hour if
Yeah.
we do it 0.5
Yeah,
to
that's
2.
true.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, the
Fine,
order
by the
doesn't
way.
look egregious to me when I just
Yeah.
look at it, right?
Again, I think it's kind of the same thing as tier 0. Like, except the supports might differ a little bit, but it kind of depends on like what you're fighting. Like, I don't think Nicole becomes like if you're doing disputed node, I don't think certain characters will feel, or rather, I guess we're just doing the critical Shiyu. Like some of the fights will just obviously be leaning towards the anomaly characters or like the crit characters, and they
Yeah.
change it so often too. So maybe I saw a few people say that Sokaku is not above Koleda. I don't know if you guys agree with that. That again, to be clear, just the messenger. That was a chatter message.
I agree.
Sokaku was pretty split with the community. It was like
I don't like Sukaku.
42-41.
My only thing that keeps Sokaku in 0.5 is she's like the only ice support character. That's like literally it. I think the second another ice character supporting comes out, like she drops.
Yeah.
And you can use other characters over Sokaku.
Yeah, there's other characters
Yeah,
you can use.
you can use Caesar to stun a lot faster for similar buffs, right? You can use like Lucy, I guess, too, right? Probably. I mean, why not? Right?
I'd put her around Rina level or lower.
Yeah.
To her point too, she literally doesn't synergize with anyone but Ellen. So if we're talking
Yeah.
about flexibility, like she is the only person in her faction. She's only with Ice. So if she's not pairing with Ellen, it's Lycaon, which is okay. That's not really doing anything different. So you're not even really making use of her additional ability, which also doesn't even make sense for anyone but Ice.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, she's there for the 1,000 attack, and that's okay.
And I shred it.
But yeah, like if we're valuing flexibility and versatility as we have with characters like Lucy and like Nicole, Lucy or Sokaku technically is just 1,000 attack, and that's okay. But I think that's what we have to assess it off of.
People are bringing up that M6 Sokaku can be your ice DPS too. That's actually
Yeah, a
true.
lot of people like
Yeah, it is
M6
a
as
thing.
DPS.
Yeah, that's actually true. So, in a way that actually makes her ironically a bit more flexible. Like you guys are 100% right. On the support side, yeah, no, don't use her on anything but Ellen, right? But the fact that she can be a DPS at M6 and you didn't pull Ellen and the chamber's ice weak and you've built Sokaku and
good.
have invested, then yeah, she's pretty solid. So, okay, I'm actually, that actually convinced me to leave her in tier 0.5.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. But honestly, if we're bringing up all of the flexibility and universal kind of stuff, why is Lycaon still there?
Well, Lycaon is just so good at his niche that it elevates him up to here. That's my opinion.
I mean, yeah, but then I would at least put him below Piper.
Oh, like change the order of it.
Yes, because
Oh,
you
okay.
literally cannot use him outside of an island.
Well, you can
I mean,
use him
you
with
can,
Sokaku.
but
and
I mean,
Sokaku,
true.
yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Technically, yeah. I guess now that Sokaku doubles, that's kind of funny if you think about it, because we have DPS Sokaku on the same tier as Soldier 11. That is so funny. Like obviously,
Well, we're
who's
also
better?
keeping her supporting in mind as well.
Yeah. I know. It's just funny seeing her so
Right.
close to the others.
Okay. Does anyone else think we should move Lycaon? I personally think I like where Lycaon is, but you guys can decide.
I feel like if you're the best at something, like no matter what you're the best at, I feel like you deserve to be in 0.5.
The best at
Like the
something
best.
valuable, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
Anton's-
Ben's the best at giving crit rate.
Okay. Okay.
Anton's like the best at being a bro, right? But you know,
Exactly.
You're right.
Put 'em up.
Dude, forget it. Everyone in tier 0. Let's get it. Perfect.
yeah, they're all the best. Okay, so if no one has any issues with the order in tier 0.5, we can try to order tier 1. Tier 1, I will at least give Rivenus this. I'm going to scoot Koleda at least up 1 spot. So we're gonna see if
Small win.
we're gonna see if we can bring her all the way up based on the discussion here.
I mean, there's not much for tier 1 now.
Yeah, I
would
think
put her
that
above Seth,
honestly.
but, like, that's about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that looks pretty good. Do you guys like or hate Rina enough to put her above or below Grace?
No.
Do you think she's in the center?
The two are just like holding hands anyway, but you know,
It's true.
I think Rina's better than Grace personally, just because you can
She
use.
is also a support.
Yeah, you can use her on more stuff, right? Whereas, like, if you use Grace on anything besides Electric Weak, it actually just feels painful for me. Like, like I just like, what am I doing? You know? Oh man. So I'm fine moving. Oh yeah, sorry. Actually, Grace is already at the bottom of tier 1. So what am I talking about? Yeah, this is fine to me.
Yeah, I think this looks okay. I guess, yeah, they're all just basically supports outside of Grace. So the order of it probably just depends on how much you value, or like depends on the team that you are trying to build.
Mm-hmm.
Like Seth is obviously not going to do anything for you if you're playing like crits, but Koleda is, right? And same thing with Rina. Like if you're trying to play with Anton, or you're trying to play, I guess, with some sort of pen anomaly, sounds like Rina's going to be fine too. That's honestly like where I struggle a little bit with Rina. I can't imagine what her perfect, like, best scenario is. Like, it feels good to play her.
And there's like 1,000 defense to not.
Yeah, when a character has like 5,000 defense, they have like a defense buff on their head or something.
Yeah. And then we get a real pen ratio set that's for supports, right?
Oh, yes.
True.
If we get a pen ratio support set, that'd be pretty crazy, or pretty good.
Walking gives you 60% defense pen.
Let's go.
Perfect.
Walking. Wait, can you walk in this game? Like you can only run.
Oh no! Oh god! Wait, no! Wait, that would actually sound so miserable to play. You have to stop your movement.
You just have to.
You have to start
sacrifice your
shimmying.
combat for 60%. That's a good trade.
Amazing.
She's like a turret. She's stationary. Like you can't move, but you gain pen.
Yeah.
Okay. I think
We're
tier 1
fine
looks
with
fine.
this. Okay. Yeah. All right. Tier 2. All right. I'm a Billy shill just because he saves me so much time in my life. Like maybe 30 seconds a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nine's valid.
Put
Put him at the top.
At the top. Let's go.
It's funny because, again, like the same way that we kind of I feel like we put the supports in tier 1, the DPS are kind of the same.
Yeah.
You know, depending on who you're feeling in the day is probably where the performance changes or shifts. I don't think, like, seriously, I don't think I've ever seen a clear from any one of these characters be like, whoa, like Billy, you know, smokes Corin and Nekomata in new Shiyu 17 clear. You know, they're about the same. If you invest in them, they do well. The only thing is that maybe you would consider like knocking some points off for Nekomata is that she's like a standard 5-star character, and you'd maybe want to be more happy when you pull for a 5-star character. But Billy and Corin, actually, is Corin free?
Yeah.
I don't remember if Corin
She's
is
like
free.
the pre-registration thing.
Oh, is she the pre-reg? Yeah. So then,
Which
like,
they give to
if you have the
everyone.
2 A ranks, I think you're fine. Anby, I think, also just belongs there. She's fine.
I think Anby actually should probably be at the top of tier 2 now that I'm thinking about it a bit more.
Because she's a support. Or
And
more
she's
supportive.
a stunner, right? She just stuns a little bit slower than Koleda, who's an entire tier above her. And to me, like, you know, when I use Anby or Koleda, I just feel like I'm not gonna S rank it because now I'm using Koleda over Anby. So at least that's how what I've kind of
That's valid.
noticed. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I would just
I
put
think
her
that's
here.
okay.
Yeah, at the top. Because a lot of people also didn't get Koleda. Like, look, Rivenus just got Koleda. And then a lot of people definitely didn't pull Qingyi. And I guess the next closest thing is Lycaon and Caesar. And frankly, on a non-ice team, I mean, arguably, Anby's even better in some situations.
Anby's definitely better if there's not ice.
Yeah, I mean,
just choosing Anby.
yeah, she stuns faster overall, right, than Lycaon?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lycaon gives the stun damage multiplier, though, which is nice, but...
You have to fulfill the condition.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's actually the only real adjustment I do is move Anby to the top of tier 2.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
Okay.
I think it's locked in.
All right. And tier 3, we can let Ben have this win, though.
Ben on top.
Wrecking game, man.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess that's it, right? Are we done? Are we happy with these tier lists? Do we dare to ask the community what they think about our tier list?
No one will be happy. No one could be perfect. Uh-oh.
There we go.
See what they think. See what they think.
Moment of truth.
Oh, they're.
So you make a
listing
tier
after
list? Oh, goddamn.
Yeah.
Tier list of our tier list versus their tier list.
Tier list.
Let me vote.
Ben tier.
Ben.
Oh God.
Someone insta voted.
That would be me.
I feel
Ben
like
is stealing all the votes.
I feel like the Ben tier is a bit
When I
Hog in
do
the
like a
spotlight.
troll option in my community polls, they always split the
you
troll
they
option.
pick the troll option. Yeah.
They get me.
Oh my gosh, guys. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I guess if you guys want to give one quick shout out, plug for your stuff, feel free to as we wrap this stream up.
I don't know. I'm Gib, YouTube at Gib, Twitch at Gib. Stream like almost every day, playing all the games. And yeah, thank you for inviting me to join in on this tier list.
No, absolutely. Thank you for joining us. Sounds like if you want some regular cadence Zenless Zone Zero content, you got Gibbs to choose from. Me, I don't upload too regularly for any specific game, so I'm sorry, but yeah, it looks like we got
the goat. You cover everything. You're like Mr. Gotcha.
Oh my God! Oh my goodness! Looking back on my life, I never would have expected this, but here I am, the gotcha-holic. So, oh man. Okay, so next person, I guess, Kana, you want to talk about yourself a bit?
Sorry for my scalding on the stove takes where I had them, but this is supposed to be a hot takes tier list. I do a bunch of Zenless content. I used to stream pretty regularly, and then I started doing a bit more looking into some of the Zenless stuff, been writing up guides for stuff also. I definitely primarily focus on YouTube content, but yeah, you can find me on Twitch if you would like, and also on YouTube for any Zenless related stuff. Promise my normal content is not nearly as this ridiculous. But yeah, thanks for having me on.
No, of course. Thanks for joining us. And I guess Rivenus or Guoba, when do you guys want to go?
I'm good, thanks.
That's I am Rivenus.
Rivenus, the goat. Guide guy.
I'm Mr. Goober. I've got the HSR channel, Goober Certified. All I do is guides pretty much. And then I have my alter ego uncertified for the ZZZ. Just pretty much guides every day. Not actually every day. I'm very slow on Zenless because I'm not good at keeping up with. I love Zenless.
Just say you hate it.
So much stuff to do in Honkai Star Rail. So don't expect lots of Zenless stuff from me. But yeah, I make guides. If you want a regular banger guides though, I am Rivenus has a lot of those, so I would go to him.
True.
Yeah. So I'm Rivenus, Guoba. These guys are insane with their math. Like, you know, their spreadsheets are out of this world. So they do some crazy math stuff. If you guys like math and people who explain math really well, those are your guys. I try too, but you know, you know, yeah.
I don't think yours are too far off as well. So.
That's good enough for me.
Dude, I Win to Lose is the best content creator with the name Win and Lose both in his name. Like,
don't forget
that's a special trait.
Let's go.
Oh, the order doesn't matter.
Let's go.
Don't fret that.
Yeah. All right. Okay. No, guys, thank you so much for hopping on. You know, I had a great time. Really appreciate you guys hopping up or, you know, stopping by, making this tier list with us. It's not perfect. No tier list is. It's a hot takes tier list after all. And we also got the community tier list. So yeah, I guess that's it. How do I end this stream? Let me see. I think there's a button over here. And I'm just gonna click that.
This is.
And there we go.
Well, thank you all